Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks. Talk that rocks.
This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. You know, I guess if it wasn't for technical difficulties, we wouldn't have any at all, right? Phone lines are open, 277-9600, or for the viewers around the world on the Ledge Cam, 239-775-9600. Thanks to Tripod Billy, we are streaming live video at theledgeradioshow.com.
Yeah, Billy.
Where you can check out our stunning co-hosts, Sarah and Amber. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
You can also give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Special thanks to our in-studio producer, super extra liberal, Sick Rick. Rick, thanks for being here, buddy. Smitty, what you got, man?
What's up, Southwest Florida? Thanks for joining us today. I'd first like to thank our new title sponsor, Duncan Diamonds, for coming on board, Stuart Duncan. Call them for all your diamonds and jewelry needs at 1-877-343-4883. That's 877-343-4883.
Thanks, Smitty. You know, we got some big events happen this past week.
Huge
events. We got the
it's huge.
We got the RNC came to a conclusion. I think it was Thursday night. Had about 3 days? 3 days of speeches.
It felt like 12 weeks. I mean, it was terrible. But go ahead.
I'm sure it did to you, Amber. Did it feel like 12 weeks to you?
I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I got
educated.
You know, I actually turned it on, and I actually thought I was watching Rosetta Stone in Spanish. I'm telling you. It was amazing.
I thought it was.
Well, if you would have made it through 5th grade, it would have seemed, you know,
it would have seemed what?
More interesting.
It was interesting, all right. I tell you that.
Well, starting next week, it's going to be painful for me. So.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for some of the audio to come from the DNC.
Did you see what Michael Moore said about it?
No.
Who
listens to him?
Michael Moore. You'll like this.
Yeah.
He says Mitt Romney is going to raise more money than Barack Obama. They should guarantee his victory. Moore told the host, "I think people should start practice the words President Romney to assure the other side is just a bunch of ignoramuses or supported by people who believe in Adam and Eve wrote in on dinosaurs 6,000 years ago to complete misjudgment of the opposition." So he thinks that Romney's going to win. That's what Michael Moore says.
You can think all you want to think.
I hope so.
It is what it is. He's not going to win.
I hope so. Well, you know, I saw a really funny sign. It was either on Facebook or on the internet or something. It's a billboard. There was 2 billboards in this little small town. Local business owner in Hanson, Massachusetts. He said he was testing the limits of free speech by putting up 2 large and inflammatory anti-Obama signs right outside of Sullivan's Inc., a motorcycle accessory distributor in Hanson. A large sign displays President Obama, picture of President Obama, and says, "Somewhere in Kenya, a village is missing its idiot." How about that? That is awesome.
That's
cute.
racist.
I love that.
That's very cute.
Why is it racist?
That's racist.
Why?
It is.
Because that's all the liberals have is racism?
No, it is racist.
That's all you got.
No, what are you talking
Several
about?
because you guys don't have any facts. All you got is your emotions.
Exactly, because if you read
Facts.
this book,
Facts.
Look at the
you just
facts
said
that
what
were
color he was.
distorted
You just said
by
what color he
Paul
was.
Ryan. It was ridiculous.
I said what color he was.
Exactly.
Look,
Kenya.
No, Kenya's a color?
No.
What Crayola pack do you have?
I didn't say he was a color. I just
You just said he's a color.
I did not say it was a color. You are talking about racist
Sick Rick, we
stuff.
need to play this back. I think she said it's a color. Anyway, several feet away from that set another sign that showed a pouting little girl, about 6 years old, seemingly giving the middle finger to President Obama, and the sign reads, "Thanks, Obama," in bold red letters before continuing in childlike handwriting. "You spent my lunch money, my allowance, my inheritance, 35 years of future paychecks, and my retirement, you jerk." I think that was stunning.
I'm sure you.
Brilliant.
That was very classy.
Brilliant.
Very classy. I tell you. I was choked up by the fact that Ian Romney actually talked about having an ironing board. That was amazing. I'm telling you, that was just stunning. I mean, tears actually filled my eyes, and I thought to myself, imagine having an ironing board and having to have to call somebody in to actually operate it for you.
She's a billionaire.
You know
She's
what
a
I mean?
ironing board.
Did you feel the same emotion when Mrs. Obama said the same time that she felt just the same emotion when she was never just as proud of the United States as when her husband became president?
Sure.
I mean, that was
Look,
the
she should be
biggest
proud that
bunch of
he's the
BS.
president. She should be proud that he's the president. But when you try to tell me that she's such a bad off person because she had an ironing board, I mean, what did she have to get the maid to come in and iron and board?
It was the fact that she
Come
survived
on.
off nothing.
Come
and
on.
she was. That
Give
was
me a
her
break.
desk.
Oh, stop it. Oh, she had an ironing board. Oh, my God.
I came from
The
nothing.
tragedy. The pain.
You're missing the point.
Please.
The point was that's what
Please.
she used as a desk, and she was just.
Yeah, she uses a desk.
She
I know.
was setting it up.
I know.
Did they use it as a desk, or was that what they ate on? Do you remember, Amber? It was one of the two, right?
was what they-
Cardboard boxes,
She's not
I'm
that
sure.
old.
The poor folks.
It was what they.
He's so poor. Romney is so poor. Did you know that in his yacht that he had in Tampa still flies the Cayman Island flag on it? Not even an American flag on the guy's yacht.
You
Is that amazing? Is that amazing?
You guys can't
I mean, if I had a yacht and I was worth billions and billions of dollars, I would be so proud. I would fly that flag and go, "That's right. I'm an American. Like it or leave it." But he can't even do that. He hides everything in the Caymans. Everybody knows it.
You guys just can't get over the fact that he does well for himself.
No. He does well for himself. Absolutely.
Beyond belief
He's done more wealth for anybody. He's got more wealth than the 8 presidents combined times 2.
Then why can't you say congratulations? You know,
congratulations.
You did well for what?
There.
Because he did well for himself.
Because he shipped all the jobs to China.
Did he need to become
All of them,
president
right?
because he did well?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
He
did do well.
He's a billionaire. Why does he need to get on president?
Wait.
When's enough's enough?
Exactly.
When's enough? I mean,
It's power.
you got
It's power.
$260
Ego.
billion. When do you say, okay, I'll pay more than 10%
Let me tell you something, Smitty.
taxes?
He's
1%.
going to take less as a president of the United States income.
He shouldn't take anything if he wins.
Do making from being income or running the Olympics.
Should he
so
own-
it's not
should he
about
own-
it's not about earning income from the United States of America. It's not.
Yes, it is.
Income. No,
yes, it is.
not.
It's about profit over people. That's how he
It's
always
not
walks.
about
That's
that.
his mantra.
It might be
mantra.
a power play, but it's not about earning income.
Hey, Smitty, what's the phone numbers here?
277-9600 or 775-9600. Call in right now if you have a point of view on this, and feel free to give that girl your business now.
You know, the bottom line is, Amber, is that the liberals, they like to point out that they're successful people. They act like they're the bad guys. They got success through being a crook, through stealing somebody else's money.
Oh, yeah.
God forbid they actually earned their money. God forbid they started their own business.
Romney's earned every cent, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. You don't
Do you
get
have
that
proof that
wealthy.
he didn't?
No, I didn't say that he did or
Do
didn't.
you
The
have
average
proof that he didn't?
Small business.
Here's
is
what I do
billionaire.
have proof, though. It says, according to a columnist, Sally Cohn from the Fox News, she said, according to the Cummins cabinet, Vice President nominee Paul Ryan's speech at the Republican convention Wednesday was an apparent attempt to set the world record for the greatest number of blatant lies and misrepresentations slipped into a single political speech. On the measure, while it was Romney who ran the Olympics, Romney earned the gold, Cohn wrote. So obviously she's bringing out the fact that they're distorting the figures and the facts, which you guys are so used to. You don't see them when they hit you in the face.
Well, you know something, Smitty? I saw something on PolitiFact about that, and then Fact Check did another backup on that speech. And they weren't distortions of
here's
lies.
what it says. Fox News, joined by CNN, Washington Post, Workblog, Think Progress, Fact Check, is publishing a fact check of the Republican vice presidential nominee speech, finding that the speech was full of lies and misleading assertions. Cohn, who works for Fox News, wrote on her Thursday column that Ryan came off as a likable guy during his speech, but he had too many misrepresentations and omissions, caused a much larger problem for himself. So and the problems they're talking about were the GM.
You know, I knew
plan,
I should have brought that fact check
the
with me, 'cause I
Medicare
knew you'd bring that
proposal.
up.
Actually, I have them here. If you.
Oh, do you? Well,
Yeah.
I tell you, before we get to it,
Yeah.
let's take a call real quick. We got Mike on line 1 from Miami. Mike, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got?
Hello?
Mike,
yeah, there,
go
buddy.
on, buddy.
Yeah, you guys need to get your facts straight. First of all, Romney's not a billionaire. He only has average $300 to $400 million, not a billion.
I agree, buddy.
Secondly, he did not ship jobs to China. Well, how about talking about the jobs he actually did create and the jobs he actually did save instead of talking about the negative? Why don't you talk about the positive?
Speak on it, Mike. School him, buddy. School Smitty. Tell him.
Profit over
You
people,
guys
Mike.
need to-
Profit over
before-
people, buddy.
Before you talk, you need to think about what you're saying so that it's factual.
Hey, Mike, when they take your job, I don't want to hear you crying about it either.
I'm sorry, I'm a very wealthy guy.
That's why you like Romney. That's why you like Romney.
He likes him.
Of course.
They all get the same
Of course.
I'm a very wealthy guy, and I created jobs since the age of 16.
What did you do, Mike?
Obama
What-
didn't give
what
me
do you do?
anything,
What do you do,
everybody
Mike?
Else. I built my business.
What kind of business do you have?
What kind of business? I'm in the real estate and development business.
Okay, so you're a builder.
So first of all, you need to understand how business works. So when someone goes out and risks every single dime that they have, they expect a return. And if the return happens to be big, guess what? Then I did well.
He's
Nobody
a good
talks
gambler.
about the money that businesses lost. Do you know that Romney had businesses that lost money?
Yeah, he said
Nobody
that.
ever talks
He
about
said
that.
So did Donald Trump.
The millions of dollars of businesses that he lost money in.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, I'm on your side, buddy. I'm a conservative like you. I built a small business. I built it by myself with my employees, with my family. All the government ever did is get in the way and put red tape in place, in front of me. And so I feel your pain, brother, and I appreciate you standing up for the good people.
You don't think anybody helped you at all, huh?
This whole debate, what we don't understand is that conservatives are not even 100% against raising taxes. Why don't we try first reducing the waste, reducing the fraud, and then we can talk about increasing taxes.
Absolutely.
I'm with you, buddy. Hey, Mike, we appreciate the call, buddy.
Thanks,
take
Mike.
care. We'll try to do our best for you, man. At least the two conservatives in the room will.
I'll pray for you, Mike.
Well, what Mike says though, it speaks volumes. I mean, the bottom line is that we shouldn't be demonizing success. You can't just jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, well, the guy's got money, so clearly he's a bad guy.
No, I'm not saying that Mitt Romney is not a good guy at
So
all.
what? I don't understand. What are you saying though?
I'm not saying that he's a bad guy.
Why don't you like him, though?
I'm not saying I don't like him, but let's get the guys on the table and show me what you are going to do. Both of you guys. Come up with a plan.
He doesn't have any really plan. He has been
See?
dodging that a lot.
This is what I'm
Everybody
talking about.
says, give us a solid plan,
Let's do
and he
this,
just
this, this.
regurgitates
What
the
has
same
Obama done
message
this year
over
for
and
four
over.
Oh,
years?
you know what?
What
Hey,
have you done for
I
me?
can solve this problem right now. Sick Rick, let's go to cut 3, the Romney speech from the RNC. He actually lays out his 5-point plan in that speech. And can you get it queued up for me, buddy, or are we in the wrong order? We can do it? All right, let's bring it. Go. Whenever you're ready.
As governor of Massachusetts, I chose a woman lieutenant governor, a woman chief of staff. Half of my cabinet and senior officials were women.
We know how
By the
much he
time
loves
I was
women.
out of school, I realized that I had to go out on my own. That if I stayed around Michigan in the same business, I'd never really know if I was getting a break because of my dad. I wanted to go someplace new and prove myself. Those weren't the easiest of days. Many long hours and weekends working, 5 young sons who seemed to have this need to reenact a different world war every night. If you felt that excitement when you voted for Barack Obama, shouldn't you feel that way now that he's President Obama? He took office without the basic qualification that most Americans have, and one that was essential to the task at hand. He had almost no experience working in a business. Jobs to him are about government. Paul Ryan and I have 5 steps.
Here you go, Smitty.
First, by 2020, North America will be energy independent by taking full advantage of our oil, our coal, our gas, our nuclear, and our renewables. Second, we'll give our fellow citizens the skills they need for the jobs of today and the careers of tomorrow. When it comes to the school your child will attend, every parent should have a choice, and every child should have a chance. Third, we'll make trade work for America by forging new trade agreements. And when nations cheat in trade, there will be unmistakable consequences.
Well, he don't know how it is to cheat and trade.
And fourth,
Pro at it.
to assure every entrepreneur and every job creator that their investments in America will not vanish, as have those in Greece, we will cut the deficit and put America on track to a balanced budget. And fifth, we will champion small businesses, America's engine of job growth. That means reducing taxes on business, not raising them. It means simplifying and modernizing the regulations
Tax
that
cuts for the
hurt
rich.
small business
That's all
the
that
most.
is. Tax cuts for the
And
rich.
it means
Small
that we
business,
must
huh?
rein in the skyrocketing cost of health care by repealing and replacing Obamacare.
All right, so there you have it. He's got 5 simple steps that even someone like you can understand.
No, what they
Smitty.
do basically say is we're going to go down the field and we're going to have a touchdown and we're going to score. That's all they're telling. It's a bunch of locker room jabber. It sounds really good at a convention when you have 20,000 Republicans standing there, but he's never going to be able to pull it off because he doesn't know how to do it.
Amber doesn't. Romney, the
No, he
businessman, doesn't know
No,
how to
he
do
doesn't.
it.
He
Not at
doesn't.
all.
No, he clearly doesn't have as much
Have you
experience
seen
at running
Wall
a
Street?
business.
Have you
does.
seen Wall Street where they just take over companies and ship them all over? You saw the guy from Freeport, Illinois last week was on the line. He talked about teaching the Chinese how to do their job right now. He's teaching them right now how to do their job. They're taking the job and shipping over to China.
Okay, just a couple points, Smitty. Since Obama's been into office, we've opened the embargo to Argentina to drill more oil over there than we have here in the United States. That's number one. We have to start drilling here.
In the last 8 years, they've produced more oil than they have in a long time. In the last 8 years, I was reading that the other day. They said, did Obama take money and steer it towards the green energies and things? Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
But we've still, in the last 8 years have produced more oil.
Let me put that in context for Smitty and for
Please
everybody.
do, yeah.
The reason why they drilled more oil was from private companies on private lands.
You're against that?
No, I'm not against it.
Okay, so he did something good in your eyes?
But he blocked.
So he did something good for your eyes, huh?
Can you let me speak?
Okay.
But he blocked any drilling on the federal lands.
Exactly.
Stopped it.
Completely.
So he just swapped and put them back in the Gulf, and he's still still drilling for oil.
He stopped it completely. He stopped the oil rigs completely. So number one, we have to open those back up. We haven't had open trade agreements with China. China has opened 18 open trade agreements, free trade, and we haven't had
poor
a
China.
single
I
one.
tell you, they're doing terrible
you
over
don't-
there.
you
You
understand
make jokes
that.
like
Man,
that,
that
but
poor
we are going
China.
to be an impoverished
China
nation.
owns you. Did you know China owns you?
You make a joke like
You're
that.
China's biatch right now.
You're going to be
Because of the rules and regulations
You say
that
that in
Romney's
theory,
for.
but in 10
Romney's
years, you're gonna be
for that.
leaning over and
Romney
grabbing
is
your
for
ankles.
China owning you.
Hey, Smitty.
Go ahead,
Smitty.
make a joke about it, but
It's
you're
not
gonna
a
be
joke.
grabbing your
It's the
ankles
truth.
soon.
It's the truth.
Mark
Smitty.
my words.
The people listening can't hear when you're talking over someone.
You got something to say?
It's digital garbage.
You got something to say?
So let's
Come
people
on.
speak.
Go talk.
I will. We got Eric on line 1 from Naples right now. Eric, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got for us, buddy?
Let me ask you a question. Do you really think this country is democratic? Do you really believe that it's about Republicans and Democrats?
No.
More about the rich people, okay? Who do you think is going to benefit if you open up the oil fields here in America? Do you think the people are going to benefit? No, the little people at the bottom are going to get the little pennies. And the guys at the very top, the big fat cows, are going to get all the cash out of it.
That's right.
So, Eric,
All the corporations, all the people that work here that make businesses, all you do, you're just getting the pennies out of it.
Eric, I got a question for you, buddy.
The thing that Eric was probably does when he talks about oil, and a lot of people don't want to say this. You act like they're going to drill oil here, and they're going to open up this great vast amount of wealth for all the oil companies. We're all going to benefit, but that's not going to happen.
No.
The only reason they're drilling oil now is they're going to ship it to China. They're going to ship their oil. They're shipping more oil now to China than they are giving it to the United States right now.
here's what needs to happen.
More export of oil to China again.
This is where ignorance comes in.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Eric. Appreciate it.
During Bush 1, when Saddam Hussein came over here and was trying to take over, Kuwait, he actually came over and asked Bush 1, he said, if you let me take over, Kuwait, I will sell you, barrels of gas at $10 a barrel if you let me do this. And Bush actually said no for the sake of doing the morally correct thing. So yes, we could have had, gas cheaper, but we said no, and we went in and drove them out. So it wasn't about getting gas cheaper.
But that's the thing, though. If we did it correctly, and if we were allowed to drill here, and we got to do it as clean as we can, to keep the environmental folks from flipping out. But if we could drill here and we could use our oil here to our advantage, or even if we had to ship it overseas, that drives the global price of oil down.
Exactly.
That affects all of us. No, I don't.
Oil
I don't,
prices aren't going to go down.
Listen, Exxon, I don't give a crap if Exxon gets richer than they are now. I don't care if BP gets richer than they are now. As long as my gas price drops a little bit, that's what I want. And if that's what it takes to get there,
We should have thought about that.
That's
before
fine with me.
We should have thought about that before we went to war. I mean, we went to war again for that oil, and what happened? We got nothing from it. Next time, let's actually get some oil. Next time we go over to have a war.
I appreciate Donald Trump's take on that, where he said, "Let's go. If you want us to come to war, we're going to go to war. When we leave, we're going to fill our battleships up, fill our carriers up with oil, and drive them back over here and drop all the oil back off." I think that was a great idea.
Do you realize that we buy the oil at the regular, world rate? We do not. We don't get it for free, you guys.
That's true.
You guys are naive for thinking that we get it for free, Eric. We don't.
It's not the free part of spending for the oil. It's the speculators on Wall Street that are driving numbers up. They're the ones that go buy paper, run the price up, and we all pay. And it's not. And the oil companies are involved with it too. They're in cahoots and they know how it works. So if you think that the oil companies are looking out for your best interest, you're out there smoking crack.
Hey, I got something for you, Smitty. Before we go to break, this oil's one thing, but diamonds are something else.
Diamonds are something else.
Okay.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
That's what I heard. So Duncan's Diamonds at Fort Myers, that's where I go for all my diamond and jewelry purchases. I've shopped at many places, and Duncan's Diamonds prices were easily 25 to 50% below other diamond and jewelry stores. Mm-hmm. I've never found a jewelry store like Duncan's Diamonds. The people there are great. They're very helpful and extremely knowledgeable. Duncan's Diamonds has the best selection, quality, and by far the greatest values at or below internet and wholesale prices. A good friend of mine took his old jewelry into Duncan's Diamonds. They paid him top dollar right on the spot. So the next time you're looking for a quality diamond or amazing jewelry, go to Duncan's Diamonds and tell them JD from the Ledge Radio Show sent you. You won't be disappointed. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Weekends. Picture me. Tiny bikini, straps undone, ice cold beer in hand, and blaring the best damn classic rock, period. Every weekend on 96K Rock, we shut up and rock. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner, Aerosmith, GNR, Bon Jovi. If it makes my ass shake, we play it. All attitude, all the time. Starting Saturdays at 10 a.m., 96K Rock Weekends rock.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small, secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2 000046.
Make your home a connected home at CompUSA, powered by Tiger Direct. Find the biggest name brands at the best prices during the Home Theater Week sales event. Get the Logitech Review Media Player with Google TV and internet apps for only $89.99. Save $400 on a 55-inch LED HD TV right now, just $699.99. And grab a Samsung Blu-ray home theater system for $149.99. Don't miss these amazing deals during Home Theater Week at CompUSA, powered by Tiger Direct in Fort Myers at 13741 South Tamiami Trail.
Hi, I'm Bob Germain, and right now at Germain Infinity of Bonita Springs, it's the Limited Engagement Summer Sales Event with once-in-a-lifetime offers on every new 2012 Infinity in stock. For example, with just $1,352 out of your pocket, you can drive your choice of a luxurious G37 sedan for just $299 per month, or the sexy G37 Coupe for just $339 per month. Just $1,352 down, or check out the all-new 7-passenger 2013 Infinity JX. And every new Germain Infinity comes with our exclusive Diamond Advantage, including complimentary car washes and oil changes. Just $299 per month for a luxurious new 2012 Infinity G37 sedan. And that's for just 18 months. Wow! These limited engagement offers are for a very limited time at Germain Infinity on US 41 just south of Bonita Beach Road, or online at germaininfinity.com.
More than two available G37 Coupe is a 24-month lease, 0 security deposit with approved credit, 10K miles per year, excludes tax, title, and registration fees, expires month end.
Silver 12! Silver 12! Refresh! Silver 16! Six-pack cold!
Well, Jim, he really iced that one.
Down cold.
He cracked open that end zone smooth and easy.
When you enjoy every game with the cold, refreshing taste of Coors Light, you've made the perfect play.
The call is illegal hands in the cooler, illegal hands to the face.
Refresh! Refresh!
He's at the 24, the 18, the 12, the 6, and he's in! Look at those moves!
My goodness!
Yes, Jim, it's refreshing to see.
Coors Light is the world's most refreshing beer, and with its super cold activation, you'll know right when it's cold enough to drink.
Get your cold, Coors Light,
I'll take one right here, please. Hey, me too! This season, reach for the cold every single game, only from Coors Light.
It's up. It's on its way. It's cold! Man, I'm thirsty.
With great beer comes great responsibility. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Number 1 Billboard artist, Joe Bonamassa. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa, live in concert on Saturday, December 15th at the Germain Arena. Get tickets now at the Germain box office or at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Bonamassa. Don't miss your chance to experience the guitar event of the year.
Talking our hometown, our state, and the state of our country. Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock. Talk that rocks.
Welcome back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smith on 96K Rock. The phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. If you'd like to advertise during this show for our new primetime slot every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, visit our website, contact us for details. We still need a title sponsor for the second hour. Great rates while they last. As the election nears, the value only goes up. All right, Smitty, what you got, man? Anything?
No, I want to.
You going to introduce our guy?
Introduce our man over there, Mr. Byron Donalds. He came in. Was glad to have him in. He stopped in. He says he's ready to go crazy because now he lost the election. So watch out.
Whoa, he threw you right down the stairs, man.
So here he goes.
Byron, I'm on your side, man. I got your back.
Hang on, Doc.
I got your back.
You just got back from the GOP, RNDC, whatever it is up there.
What is it? The RNDC?
Run DMC up there in Tampa.
Byron, how was the RNC, man? You were up there for Wednesday, right?
I was up there Wednesday. It was fantastic. A lot of energy in the building. It's one of those things where it's surreal. It's like the Super Bowl for politics.
Yes.
That's really what it is. And during the early speeches, the people who are watching those are the people at home. I mean, in the building, people are moving around. They're talking to people. Ready to call Rove, Orrin Hatch.
Right.
Did you get to talk to them?
Yeah.
Oh, that is sweet.
Were you the one that chased Ron Paul out of the building?
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
No,
Who chased Ron Paul? Who chased Ron Paul out? They didn't want his guys in there. He left. He was so mad.
Some of the head honchos.
I heard about that. That's a shame, though.
Shine a little light on that story with him.
Well, for Ron Paul?
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
Oh, I know the story. No, seriously, it wasn't about Ron Paul. Here's the deal. What happened was, a couple of guys in the Beltway establishment, RNC, decided to make rules changes at the convention.
At the last minute.
At the last minute, nobody knew the rule change was coming, and what they really wanted to do was have the presidential nominee be able to swap out delegates. Right, but that rule got defeated, but they put in this other rule that basically allows the RNC chairman to make rules changes between conventions, which has never happened before. So frankly, it gives the RNC national a lot more control over the electoral delegate process for the Republican nomination.
Gives them the ultimate power.
So they changed the rules. Boy, that sounds awfully familiar with the GOP. I know how they change rules as they go.
Oh, no. That's just indicative of power politics, no matter what side you're talking about. Because the DNC, they do it too.
No, we don't do that.
Hold on, no, but the difference is they do it with everybody. You remember
everybody's included. Right. Everybody's included. Everybody's included. That's right.
That thing,
we don't
that?
pick and cherry pick and choose. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, they don't pick winners and losers, do they, Byron?
No. They just pick losers.
What about
Did
you hear the Ryan speech, obviously, didn't you?
Yeah, Paul Ryan was fantastic.
And what do you think about the big deal with him misleading everybody and blatant lies that they called?
See, I'm glad I came in the show today because I get a chance to educate you. See, listen, here's the thing.
Educate me, because that's what's all over the news about what he said, and wasn't just one right-wing blog that said it. CNN, all of them. Think Progress, fact check that.
Think Progress.
They all said that.
Think Progress.
They all said it. Washington Post. I mean, these are reputable places. You know what I mean?
Hold on, let me educate you on what he did.
Well, you talked about the GM plant that was closed. You tried to blame Obama for it. We really was under Bush, right? Talked about Medicare to $716 million, but his plan would do the same thing. And he also talked about Simpson Bowles, which he voted against. So there's three things that he just blatantly lied about, and you guys just let it happen. You go, yeah, well, he just misspoke.
Let's work.
Okay, now let's hear your spin on this one.
No, it's no spin.
Okay.
Here's the truth.
Oh, give it to me.
Simpson
of course
Bowles.
it is. You said it.
Hey, let him talk.
It's gospel. Speak on it, brother man.
Paul Ryan is a congressman. He's one of 435. If he doesn't vote for Simpson Bowles, no big deal. Barack Obama is president of the United States. If he does not support Simpson Bowles, it goes nowhere, and he wasted everybody's time, about 6 months worth of time, to create Simpson Bowles, and he did nothing with it. That's point one. Point number two, the $700 billion in Medicare. You know what that is? That's really cuts to Medicare Advantage, which 20 million seniors actually have, and these cuts are funneled into Obamacare. The reason why he's cutting that money is because they need that money to fund Obamacare, and they're going to do it by cutting reimbursement rates to doctors and to hospitals through Medicare Advantage. But here's the tricky thing about this. You and I both know the Congress will never cut Medicare Advantage like that, because you're going to have 30 million seniors, 20 million seniors melting the phones down in D.C. and saying, hey, what happened to Medicare Advantage? You're not going to let that happen. So we're going to deficit spend, in reality, $700 billion. That's the true disaster, because we do need to reform Medicare, and we don't need to reform it by taking the money out of there and putting it into a new entitlement program. That's what Paul Ryan was talking about. Those are the facts. Furthermore, there's a $8.3 billion slush fund that is in Medicare and Medicaid services. The current administration, the President of the United States, is using that slush fund to cover up the cuts that are already happening in Medicare Advantage. It's already happening. They're using that slush fund to cover those cuts so the seniors won't realize what's going on. That's the truth. I'm not sure. I don't think Progress is talking about that, Smitty.
Well, I can tell you right now that I think he's shifting all that Medicare over because they're going to eliminate it eventually. Everybody's going to be in health care. Everybody's going to have general health care.
Whoa. What'd you just say?
Aren't they going to have
because the president's running around the country saying that Paul Ryan wants to change Medicare as we know it. Now you're saying the president's making those cuts so that he can eliminate Medicare.
That's what I think. Eventually, it's
Hey,
going to be. It's going to be health care just in general.
I've got some audio from the Paul Ryan speech that I'd like to play. Just to set it up. This is just it's just like the 10 best little zingers that he had for Obama. Sick Rick, you got it queued up for cut one. All right, buddy, let's go with it.
President Barack Obama came to office during an economic crisis, as he has reminded us a time or two. It all started off with stirring speeches, Greek columns, the thrill of something new. Now, all that's left is a presidency adrift, surviving on slogans that already seem tired, grasping at a moment that has already passed, like a ship trying to sail on yesterday's wind. The man assumed office almost 4 years ago. Isn't it about time he assumed responsibility? None of us should have to settle for the best this administration offers. A dull, adventureless journey from one entitlement to the next, a government-planned life, a country where everything is free but us. And by the way, being successful in business, that's a good thing. He turned around the Olympics at a time when a great institution was collapsing under the weight of bad management, overspending, and corruption. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? They are self-evident and unchanging. And sometimes, even presidents need reminding that our rights come from nature and God and not from government. College graduates should not have to live out their 20s in their childhood bedrooms, staring up at fading Obama posters and wondering when they can move out and get going with life.
I love
that one. We're a full generation apart, Governor Romney and I, and in some ways we're different. There are the songs on his iPod, which I've heard on the campaign bus, and I've heard it on many hotel elevators. He actually urged me to play some of these songs at campaign rallies. I said, look, I hope it's not a deal breaker, Mitt, but my playlist, it starts with AC/DC and it ends with Zeppelin.
277-9600, 775-9600. So, Byron, that was just a small compilation of some of the little quips from Ryan during the speech. And
was that the highlight?
I guess so. I mean, that's kind of the jabs at Obama, I guess, if you want to call it that.
That was riveting.
No, that was just a little. It was all little truthful statements.
I'm telling you, he actually listened to Led Zeppelin. Wow.
I think
stunned.
I'm surprised you don't love that.
It was stunning. I'm telling you.
That should be your guy.
I got tears rolling out my eyes. Oh my gosh.
I think I almost did. I don't know. Now you weren't there for his speech, right?
No,
Byron?
I was there.
You were there for his. What'd you think of it?
Ryan has an ability to connect with people. Frankly, not too many guys.
I think better than Mitt Romney does too.
Oh no, he does.
He does.
That's crystal clear. He does. It doesn't rival the president. I mean, the president is probably one of the most charismatic people to ever run for office. That's just what it is. But Paul Ryan is an excellent addition to the ticket. His speech was fantastic. On a quick point, Condoleezza Rice's speech tore the house down.
Yeah, do you like that?
She was phenomenal.
You know who I thought was good was Archer Davis, the former Democrat. Oh my!
Well, you guys can say that all day. I still like Clint Eastwood talking to the chair. Okay, that was classic 101. I mean, when I saw that, I got popcorn. I was ready, man. Yeah, it was a show. I think he can actually take that on the road, and be like a little Broadway one-man show doing the Romney.
He may go with O'Reilly on a tour.
That was riveting, talking to a chair and thinking, wow, you got upstaged by a chair? Come on, man.
But listen, going back to
you don't think that was funny? Come on, don't jump tracks. What's your opinion?
You're the
on
one
that?
jumping tracks. We were on
I'm
Ryan.
asking him his opinion. I'm talking about what he thought about that speech.
After Ryan.
That was hilarious.
Let's talk about the stuff that matters.
Oh,
I think the best part of Paul Ryan's speech, I know everybody's talking about the fading Obama posters and all that. That was good. It was really good. It was pretty funny. The best part to me was when he talked about how the president is he's basically trying to sail a ship on yesterday's wind.
Yes.
He's trying to push his campaign still on hope and change, but there is no more hope.
There's
been too much change.
His mistake.
Been in office for 4 years. What do you want him to do? Right away?
Something.
It was already,
4 years is right away.
His mistake.
No, it was so messed up prior to that.
His mistake was waiting he fought 2 years for that health insurance. It took a lot out of him. And now you guys aren't budging for the last 2 years. You're going to make him draw the line, and you're not going to budge. Do you know how many years it took to get out of the Great Depression?
Too many.
12. It took 10 to 12 years to drag out of there. And now you're talking about having this guy fix it in basically 2-3 years. He needs another term to get it out of here.
Hold on. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to come back to her. Because here's the thing. If you let's talk about the Great Depression real briefly. FDR's Treasury Secretary wrote in his notes, they've spent billions after billions. They spent money after money after money, and they didn't fix a thing. This was 10 years going through the need.
They were just dumping money into it.
They dumped money after money after money.
Stimulus and stimulus
programs, and it changed nothing. What happened with the Great Depression was a number of things. Number one, World War II. Number two, just finally a weariness of the people to actually begin to accumulate assets again. All that money spent did nothing. And for the Great Depression, that's why it lasted 12 years. The Great Depression was really like a lost decade. The Japanese dealt with that about 15 years ago, a lost decade, because they spent money after money after money. Those kind of programs don't work. Now, to your question, to your point, he's had 4 years. What has he done?
But prior to that, the opposite of fear and hope. That's why we voted for Obama, because he was the opposite. We were in fear because all the war and everything. So that's why everybody voted for him.
2 wars.
Exactly.
2 wars. Corruption on Wall Street, bailouts. Shall I go on and on and on? All this was given to him.
No, shall you not?
And it was jammed down his throat. And now we're just going, oh, well, it's like 2 kids that throw a rock and hit a glass and he break it. Then the other kid throws a rock and he goes, well, your rock was bigger. It broke it more. Hey, he broke it and he's trying to fix it, and it's not going to be fixed easily.
Hey, Byron.
And I knew that.
Byron, who had control of the Congress and Senate during Barack Obama's first term, first 2 years?
Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid.
Huh. Are those Democrats?
Yeah.
So should Barack Obama have been able to got anything approved that he wanted to?
Listen, I want everybody to understand something. Economic policy is something you have to lay a foundation for, and then you have to allow it to set and then move forward. The president could have done anything he wanted to do those first 2 years. Anything. The Republicans couldn't stop anything. All let's talk about obstructionism. It doesn't make sense because they had the numbers. When you have 60 votes in the United States Senate, you do what you want to do.
Anything you want.
You do what you want to do, and they did that. They did it with the stimulus package, which frankly wasn't the first stimulus. That was the third stimulus, because Bush and Nancy Pelosi did a stimulus too. Everybody forgets that one in January of 08. They did a stimulus too, and that stimulus didn't work. And so we did stimulus on steroids with the president's stimulus plan, was about $700 billion. You add in the interest on the debt, it's about $900 billion going forward now. So that policy didn't work. He said shovel-ready jobs were going to keep unemployment below 8%. That didn't happen.
What did he say about that afterward? I guess they weren't so shovel-ready.
Shovel-ready's not as shovel-ready as they thought.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and he laughed about
Sitting next to Jeffrey Immelt, who is the CEO of GE, by the way, who didn't pay taxes last year, but he's running around the country saying about how tax rates aren't fair. There's a lot of double talk that's coming out of the president of the United States. And don't get me wrong. Was the president dealt a bad hand? Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is his decisions, it is his policy choices that are not going to preserve this nation. Obamacare is not going to do anything and will not do anything to bring economic growth back.
Look, it sounds really good down here in Naples, but I guarantee you go around the United States and people still don't think that. They still think that Bush gave him a super dirty deal and handed him a snake-bit job, and to get it fixed now is going to be way too tough. And just to give him 4 years, and I guarantee you it's going to come down to the debates that are going to happen.
Smitty.
The debates are going to decide this election.
Well, let's talk about what he got handed, okay? Because it's been 4 years now. At some point, you do got to take responsibility for this
You know what? Actually, at what point does Obama take responsibility? At what point do you think he should take responsibility, Smitty?
Responsibility?
At what point does he take responsibility?
When he got into office, it was corrupt. It was wrong. Everything was messed up.
That's his whole career. That's his whole life, Obama. He's been corrupt since day one. He's been groomed for the president since he was a young adult, and he was corrupt the whole time.
Smitty, what do you think about this?
Every politician's corrupt, okay? That's what I think. And so if he wants to talk about corruption, he can talk about corruption all day long.
You're the one that brought it up.
But I'm telling you that every politician is corrupt. And if they're not corrupt, when they get in the system, they will become corrupt. And until the people of this nation take control of it and actually vote and tell people that, no, that's not going to happen, then it's going to continue and continue and continue. You go back to Citizens of America. I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever made to man. Let people just give money to corporations because in a layman's term, it doesn't make sense. But to the lawyers, they say, well, corporations are people, right? Yeah. Well, then people can give money as much as they want to the politicians, and that's where the problem is. So you can sit there and argue, the Supreme Court ruled it in their favor. It's the worst thing in the world.
Byron, school him on this. Does he not realize that Walmart, a corporation, it's not the building, it's the people. They hire the people. My company's not a building. Did my building hire you?
If you ask for a glass of water and I give you a glass and have 3 drops of water handed to you, it's a glass and there's water in it. But that's not what it really is. You want a freaking glass of water. That's the common sense in me saying, you know what? I don't care what the Supreme Court says.
I know you don't.
You've got to take the money out of politics, and they won't. You basically can buy the United States. You basically can buy a congressman. You basically can put money into any politician's pocket and say, I'm giving you millions and millions of dollars, and I want you to just do what I tell you to do. And it's legal. It's legal theft of
Byron,
the nation.
just reload because we're going to go to break. When we get back, we'll touch base on what Smitty's talking about.
277-9600 or 775-9600. If you disagree with me, then that's tough. Call in anyhow.
We'll be right back.
96 K-Rock supports Southwest Florida's bikers with the Biker Map.
Hey, this is Chris with the Biker Map. Be sure to look for the Biker Map.
The Biker Map lists and directs you to biker-friendly bars, restaurants, bike shops, and more.
The Biker Map.
Grab a copy by stopping by K-Rock Broadcasts and always at the K-Rock Studios in Estero.
I just want to say thank you to Southwest Florida and all the advertisers for supporting all the motorcycle riders out there. The Biker Map. Be sure to make the most of your ride. The Biker Map from 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Southwest Florida knows that Duncan's Diamonds has the best prices, but it's their quality, selection, and excellent customer service that keeps customers coming back year after year. And Duncan's Diamonds customers have great things to say.
Their sales team is extremely helpful and knowledgeable.
I've shopped at other jewelry stores, but there's no place like Duncan's Diamonds. And I tell all my friends to come here every chance I get.
At Duncan's Diamonds, I found everything I was looking for. Great designers. I was awfully impressed with their Hearts on Fire diamonds and jewelry. You know, they're really amazing.
The customer service is excellent. You know, you're free to take your time and browse without being hassled, and all your questions are answered.
I've been to every chain jewelry store, department store, and independently owned stores. None of them beat Duncan's Diamonds prices. They are the best.
I had some jewelry to sell, and by far, Duncan's Diamonds paid me the most cash and paid on the spot.
Duncan's Diamonds puts your mind at ease. Best quality at the best price.
Discover Duncan's Diamonds, Fort Myers on US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center, where you'll find the largest selection at the best prices in Southwest Florida.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
The lowest prices in Florida, the nicest used cars in the country, and the best-selling luxury vehicles of all time. All at one convenient location. Germain Auto Advantage in Bonita Springs, your new and used car alternative. Don't pay $50,000 for a new luxury vehicle. Get to Germain Auto Advantage in Bonita Springs and get up to 50% off. Right now, a nearly new Lexus ES350 is just $17,000. $14,990. That's over 50% off original MSRP. A nearly new Lincoln MKZ luxury sedan is just $14,990. That's over 50% off. Choose from late model, one owner, hand-picked local trades and lease returns. They look like new, drive like new, but cost thousands less. Plus, you get a warranty, just like a new car, and 1 year of free maintenance, even better than a new car. Lexus, Lincoln, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz. Nearly new, nearly half price at Germain's Auto Advantage in Bonita Springs, US 41, just south of Bonita Beach Road. Prices plus tax, tag, and title fees.
Southwest Florida knows that Duncan's Diamonds has the best prices, but it's their quality, selection, and excellent customer service that keeps customers coming back year after year. And Duncan's Diamonds customers have great things to say.
Their sales team is extremely helpful and knowledgeable.
I shopped at other jewelry stores, but there's no place like Duncan's Diamonds. And I tell all my friends to come here every chance I get.
At Duncan's Diamonds, I found everything I was looking for. Great designers. I was awfully impressed with their Hearts on Fire diamonds and jewelry. They're really amazing.
The customer service is excellent. You're free to take your time and browse without being hassled, and all your questions are answered.
I've been to every chain jewelry store, department store, and independently owned stores. None of them beat Duncan's Diamonds prices. They are the best.
I had some jewelry to sell, and by far, Duncan's Diamonds paid me the most cash and paid on the spot.
Duncan's Diamonds puts your mind at ease. Best quality at the best price.
Discover Duncan's Diamonds, Fort Myers on US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center, where you'll find the largest selection at the best prices in Southwest Florida.
Let's get back to work, please.
So, go ahead.
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Welcome back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Just want to welcome back Byron Donald's in the studio with us. Byron, thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for taking the abuse as usual from Smitty.
Thanks for coming, Byron.
Hey, listen,
you got to
You're
bring
ruining my party here.
Hey, let's take a call real quick. He's been holding on through the break. Is he still over there sick, Rick? All right, we got Mike. Mike on line one. Mike, are you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, what you got for us, my friend?
Well, I don't know who this guy was I was listening to on your streaming program over the computer, talking about all the shortcomings of Obama.
Uh-huh.
But if he would go to Google and Google Obama's accomplishments in the last 3.5 years, he would see that Obama has accomplished over 300 items without any help from Boehner's crybaby.
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it.
I know he accomplished about 1,100 executive orders.
I don't know if this guy wants a title of a bigger liar than Mitt and Ryan, but he's really vying for that title. And, the problem is with American politics today, it's the lies spewed, and I do say spewed, from the right.
Oh, from the right.
It seems the only thing they ever
He's speaking on it. Speak on it, brother.
News, and it seems the only thing they will believe is lies, and they're so ignorant, all they do is pass on their lies.
That's right.
It seems
Speak on it, brother, man.
A little tired of all the lies being told when you can go and Google all of Obama's
Go to Wikipedia, buddy. That's Smitty's site, Wikipedia.
Yours is Rush Limbaugh's.
John Boehner or anyone else.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Here's the
Mike,
thing, though. Here's the big...
I believe everything you say, Mike.
I know you do. Here's the big difference, though. The liberals, all they got is emotion. Republicans or conservatives, they got facts. So, Byron, I know you reloaded while we were on break. Let's bring it to Smitty.
Yeah, I am. A couple of things. I gotta address Mike real quick.
Okay.
The president has accomplished a lot of things, bill-wise. Bills have been passed, but the purpose of the federal government is not just to pass bills for passing bills' sake, so we can create statutes to any politician. I don't care if you're talking about Obama, Mitt Romney, or George W. Bush. That's not the purpose. The purpose of American government is stability in policy. That way, the American people know exactly what the rules are, so we can operate in seeking our own interests, pursuing our own happiness. That's the purpose of the federal government here in this nation. Now, to talk to Smitty real quick.
Well, just to reiterate a little bit on Mike, he said the one thing that really stood out was, like he said, there's so many blatant lies that we all expect a little spin. Okay, the Republicans are going to spin, the Democrats are going to spin, everybody's going to take their pot shots. It's politics, you got to expect it. But when the guys are just blatantly lying to you and just totally distorting absolute facts, the people, the American people, get tired of it. They're like, well, why do I even listen to this crap?
What lies are we talking about? You talking about the three things that you talked about with Ryan?
All the politicians regurgitate stuff and they spin their story.
Smitty would be happy with no politicians. I mean, of course, you know,
I would. You know what I would be happy with? Real guys in office and take all the lawyers out, because I think that the founding fathers made this country and set this democracy up so the average guy could run it. So you could run it, she could run it, he could run it. Maybe not him, but most people could run it, and they wouldn't have to worry about.
Not JD.
They wouldn't have to worry about all the influences and the money and all the corruption.
Well said.
And I think the average
Well
guy
said.
can sit down without having to be a lawyer from Harvard or Princeton or wherever and go, hey, you know what? No, you're not going to do that. That's not right. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Smitty, for once, I completely agree with you.
I think I do too.
We are in complete agreement.
You're both fired now.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Plato said those who are apathetic to their politics will be ruled by their inferiors. We have too many people in this nation who are apathetic to politics. They do not pay attention. They do not read bills. They do not read news reports and then read conflicting news reports. I mean, like watching Morning Joe in the morning with Mika Brzezinski and then watching Bill O'Reilly at night and then trying to figure out whether the truth actually lies. Hold on a minute. I'm talking about reading the New York Times and then reading the Wall Street Journal and trying to figure out the difference in the substances being given.
Yeah, very true.
Most people do not pay attention to politics, and this is why the money that you despise, that's why money wins in politics, because most people are living their lives. They're going to the beach, they're listening to this show as they head out to go on the boat, they're doing their thing, and when it comes time to vote, which is about to start happening in the next 6 weeks, people are going to turn on the TV, they're going to watch 15 minutes of a debate, they're going to make a decision, and they're going to go on with the rest of their lives.
You know, I actually would appreciate if they would watch at least 15 minutes of the debate. But you know, it's even more sadder than that. Is they'll watch just a quick commercial and they'll see a negative campaign from either side, and then make their decision based on the negative campaign.
That's what these guys are doing. They get on the TV and they're bad mouthing everybody. They're opposers. The whole thing. Why?
It's always,
why do you have to do that? Just lay it on the table.
Well,
A, B, and C. Let's do this.
It's really crazy because the right wing will say one thing, the left wing will say another, and these guys will argue vehemently. And when it's all over, they shake hands and go play golf.
That's true.
And they go, "Hey, John, I'll see you on the golf course. Hey, you got me on that one, buddy." And that's how it is.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I said during my campaign when I was talking to voters. I said, "Do you know why nothing gets fixed in Washington? Because if they fix it, then the politicians will realize that the American people will know we don't need them. We don't need these guys to do what we need to do."
So you think they kind of keep us in this perpetual motion of just doing nothing? Or
yes.
Kind of keeping us in limbo?
The purpose in Washington is not to fix things. The purpose in Washington is to do things that empowers Washington. So you constantly need them. So you have to pay attention to Barack Obama's ad or Mitt Romney's ad or whoever we're talking about. That's the job. That's why I completely disagree with the premise of Obamacare.
It sounds like a game.
Well, to them, it might be.
Not a game.
It might be to them.
This is the power play that's been happening throughout world history. As long as man has sought to govern himself, this is what has always happened. We talked a little bit off air, Sarah and I, real brief, about why can't we just stick with leadership. The reason why is because if somebody is in power for so long, they refuse to give up that power. Why would you want to go back to a normal life if you get out of a car, they call you Mr. Congressman, Mr. Senator, Mr. President, people are picking up your shoes, you don't carry anything, you don't have on credentials. Why would you leave a career like that or a job like that or a power position like that?
That's never happened in America, ever.
That sounds like
the United States Senate?
That sounds like
it has.
That sounds like JD's life right now.
The United States Senate.
A president.
The president?
Yeah.
Oh, we had to stop that. FDR tried. He stayed in 3 terms, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's gonna stay in forever."
Was he in? Didn't he get voted in for the 4th? But then did he die? Is that what happened?
No. He got voted in for the 3rd. He was going to go again for the 4th, and then the Congress came together and said, "We can't have this.
I got you.
We can't have an imperial president," because FDR was, in all truth, the first imperial president.
He was on his way.
We can't have that. So that's when they passed a new amendment to the Constitution limiting the president to 2 terms.
Because if you didn't, you would have a dictatorship. You'd have one guy in power.
Right.
You'd have a Fidel Castro.
And they should do that to all of them. All of them.
Oh, you get no argument from me on that. Smitty, see, we're in agreement. But now let's go back, because I want to talk about what Sarah and you talked about earlier about what the president was handled. Before Barack Obama became president of the United States, he was a United States senator. He was in the United States Senate. He had votes. He could have corralled Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. He could have made sure that lending standards didn't implode on the American people like they did, but they did not do that. Do you know why? Because they were getting campaign contributions from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that's the one financial entity that is not a part of financial regulatory reform. They are basically right now on the government dole to the tune of about $300 billion a quarter, taxpayer money that they're getting. Nobody in Washington's talking about this because it keeps them in power. That's what we got to understand about politics when we start looking at this stuff.
Why do you think that is? I mean, well, I want to go back to something you said earlier, Byron. And we got a caller coming on, but earlier you mentioned something. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. I can't even keep up. Let's see what we got on the line here. Is that Mike again? No. Tripod Bill's still typing. Is it Mike again?
Pick it up.
All right, we got line one. Mike, you're on the line. What you got, buddy?
Okay, I just wanted to say I'm off my soapbox now, but you know what people don't realize about me is I've traveled all over the world. I've traveled to over 150 countries. The problem all over the world is our governments. The governments do not get along. The people, I have interacted with so many people. They love Americans. We love them. It's just that these people, you know, the governments just like to create the wars so that the rich get richer and the war machine can keep going on and making the same people rich time and time again. So that's all I've got to say, and you know.
Well, we appreciate the call, Mike.
On that.
You know, Mike, I think you know, with your last statement, it almost sounds to me like you might fit into more of a libertarian category, but I don't know, just my take on it. It kind of sounded.
Well, I'm a pure bleeding heart liberal and have been. I have voted Republican once.
Okay.
That was for Richard Nixon because he gave me the largest pay raise I ever got in the military.
Well, good for you.
I'm a veteran from Vietnam all the way to Desert Storm. But I just cannot live with the far-right policies they want to put on us.
Okay, Mike. Well, we appreciate your service, buddy.
Keep listening in, buddy.
We got another call. We got Scott from Fort Myers on line 2. Scott, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got?
Yes, I think what this country needs is as you were just touching on, is a third party, is the Libertarian Party. I think when you get some of these old-timers that have been in Congress for 20 years that are kind of set in their ways and not very open-minded, where, you know, we got the extreme right, the extreme left, and you kind of need someone in the middle that's saying, hey, let's work together for.
That's you, buddy. That's your vote, the middle guy, because the right is going to vote right, the left's going to vote left, and the middle guy is going to be the guy that's going to decide it. So it's all you.
Well, yeah, and that's the way I plan on voting for Ron Paul actually at this election, even though he doesn't have a shot.
Me too.
It might open up people's eyes and say, listen, you know, we're not getting anything done when we have this two-party system. And all these old-timers that are set in their ways are saying it's my way or the highway, and nothing's getting done, and that's the problem with this.
Hey, Scott, I'd like to say this, and I can appreciate where you're coming from, buddy. You know, you've got some principles behind you. Unfortunately, the bottom line is in this election, even though I do like a lot of Ron Paul's platforms and his principles, but at this point in the game, a vote for Ron Paul is a vote for Barack Obama. Sorry to say.
I don't agree. I think if the man wants to vote, he's conscious, and it's his democracy.
That's fine.
It's his right to vote who he wants to vote for.
You got to know what's going to happen when you vote. You got to know what's going to happen when you vote.
You don't vote for somebody because you don't want somebody. You vote because that's who you want.
I understand.
And that's how elections win.
But if you're smart enough to realize that by voting for this guy, I'm putting the other guy in.
No, he's making a statement. He's saying, you know what? I'm not going to buy into this system. I'm voting for this guy, and you got to respect that.
All right, let's. We're at the top of the hour. We got to take a break real quick. We'll be back in a few moments. Everybody, the Ledge Radio Show, 277-9600, 775-9600. We'll be right back.
Adrenaline, a chemical that runs through the body, increasing your heart rate and triggering excitement.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
Feel the rush. Hear Dolphins football here on 96 K-Rock. Catch every play, every comment.
Touchdown, Dolphins!
Everything that makes Miami Dolphins football fantastic.
Brought to you by Schuler Steakhouse, Bull Camper Sports Bar and Grill, and Executive Electronics of Southwest Florida.
On 96 K-Rock.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small. Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm, security, and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2 000046.
Southwest Florida knows that Duncan's Diamonds has the best prices, but it's their quality, selection, and excellent customer service that keeps customers coming back year after year. And Duncan's Diamonds customers have great things to say.
Their sales team is extremely helpful and knowledgeable.
I shopped at other jewelry stores. There's no place like Duncan's Diamonds. And I tell all my friends to come here every chance I get.
At Duncan's Diamonds, I found everything I was looking for. Great designers. I was awfully impressed with their Hearts on Fire diamonds and jewelry. They're really amazing.
The customer service is excellent. You're free to take your time and browse without being hassled, and all your questions are answered.
I've been to every chain jewelry store, department store, and independently owned stores. None of them beat Duncan's Diamonds prices. They are the best.
I had some jewelry to sell, and by far, Duncan's Diamonds paid me the most cash and paid on the spot.
Duncan's Diamonds puts your mind at ease. Best quality at the best price.
Discover Duncan's Diamonds, Fort Myers on US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center, where you'll find the largest selection at the best prices in Southwest Florida.
No matter what your weekend plans are, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits has just what you need to make you and your wallet happy. Save even more with coupons in Friday's paper, or bring in a competitor's advertised price and they'll beat it.
Hi, Susan. How have you been?
Oh, busy, Claire. How about you?
Oh, me too. I'm looking forward to the long weekend. Do you have any plans?
You bet. I'm hitting the Labor Day sidewalk sale at Miramar Outlets.
Sounds like fun. Have you shopped the sidewalk sale before?
Absolutely. I always shop at Miramar Outlets for great prices on designer and brand names. And at the sidewalk sale, I save even more off the already discounted prices.
What kind of deals do you find?
Anything you can think of. Shoes, clothes, accessories. I stock up on great bargains.
Wow, it sounds like I have plans now for the long weekend too. I'm definitely going to check out the Labor Day sidewalk sale at Miramar Outlets. You want company?
Sure, let's have lunch and make a day of it.
It's a date. I can also pick up a Miramar Outlets gift card for my mom's birthday. She loves to shop there too.
Make it a date this Labor Day weekend. Shop the sidewalk sale at Miramar Outlets starting Friday, August 31st through Monday, September 3rd. Located at exit 123 off I-75 in Estero between Naples and Fort Myers. Find us on the web at miramaroutlets.com or become a fan on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Gift card handling fees apply.
Find great savings at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits on everything you need to always be celebrating. Look for coupons in Friday's paper, and for even more to celebrate, bring in a competitor's advertised price and they'll beat it.
From the huge studios, WRXK, Bonita Springs, Naples, Fort Myers, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, 96K Rock, and 96krock.com. Talk that rocks.
The following is a paid commercial program. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and not necessarily those of 96K Rock and the Beasley Broadcast Group.
Get off the ledge! Get off the ledge! This country sure as hell been going down the drain.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And now, live, unedited, unrehearsed, and unapologetic, brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world. Straight off the ledge, it's JD and Smitty!
This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock. The phone lines are open, 277-9600, or for the viewers around the world on the Ledge Cam, 239-775-9600. Check out the live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show.
Welcome back. The second hour is brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security. For all your fire alarm security, CCTV, or access control needs, call Imperial Fire Alarm and Security or look them up on Google. The number is 239-288-6482. Technicians are standing by. And, of course, a shout-out to Duncan Diamonds. They've been terrific with us.
Very good. Before we get to our next guest, I want to take a call. We've got Mike from Bonita on line one. Mike, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with
Mike.
JD and Smitty. What you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting here listening to the show, first time actually hearing it, and I was thinking about something that you had said, giving the power to people to run the government who kind of know about the situation of the people, like you were just saying.
The average guy?
I'm sorry?
The average guy?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it doesn't take, you know, this level of an education and a
more common
financial
sense
background.
approach you're talking about.
Absolutely.
I think you're right,
it goes
Mike.
Back to what the point of government was in the first place. People needed protection, you know, currency, and then with the fall of the Holy Roman Empire, Europe has plunged into a sort of chaos where people needed that. So they constantly look for that, and we're still kind of in that mode, in a sense, with the way that things are voted for and who's running things, I believe. I
think you're right, Mike. And we appreciate your call, buddy. And, you know, Smitty does bring that aspect to the game here. You know, he definitely is a man of the people. He definitely believes that the common man should be able to rule, you know, this country. It's been done before, and we really hope it'll be done again. Smitty, do you kind of feel the same way?
No, I do. I feel like as long as there's money and corruption in there with the government, it's never going to straighten up. And you need term limits. You need to take some cash out of their pockets, or it's just going to keep rolling. And it was funny because I saw a little article on Jack Abramoff. He's the lobbyist that was spent all that money, went to jail and everything. And he was even talking. He says the best money he'd ever spent was buying the politicians. So, you know.
I can see where he'd get that. I certainly can see where he'd get that.
Here's a guy that actually went to jail for it and actually talks about it and says, you know, hey, you know, it happens every day. I've made more deals on the golf course handing out, you know, money than I did anywhere else. It was the best money he ever spent. So that tells you right there is a guy who did it. And it tells you there's a problem.
And he's not the only one, right? There's many every day, right?
It happens
every
a lot
day.
every day, and we don't even hear about it.
Well, let's take a quick break from just politics in general. We've got two very special guests today. I met this gentleman actually at an event a couple months ago. He was talking to a friend of mine, Amy Wegman, and discussing. I kind of heard, you know, just over. I was listening in, I guess, and I overheard him talking about a book that he had written.
Who is he? Please tell me.
I'm building it up, okay?
Hold on. Dun, 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 dun.
So while he's talking about it, he's discussing a screenplay, a possible movie, and I'm like, man, who is this guy? Movie star or something? So I go over and introduce myself. We get to talking, and I meet a gentleman by the name of Tony Tancredi, who wrote an autobiography about himself with his co-writer, Cindy O'Hara, and they're both in the studio.
We have to give you the official clap.
That's Smitty's official clap. Tony and Cindy, we really appreciate you guys being here today. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You know,
forget about it, okay? Hey, forget about it.
Well, I'll tell you this. You know, I'm sitting there and I was meeting with Tony, and he's talking about his book, and he's explaining it to me, and I was probably half listening, but then he started, you know, mentioning things that got me more interested, and it was. You know, it kind of starts out as a child that had some impairments. You know, as a child, some medical conditions, and has to work his way up through those issues with the kids in the neighborhood, and builds himself up into not only a boxer, but then even gets into the wise guy scenario in Philly. Why don't you?
And everybody's been always interested in the underground and the mob story and really the history of where it came from and how it evolved. And it's nice to have somebody that wrote a book was actually in.
But you know something, what you lose track of, which is really nice in the way that you guys wrote this book, is that even though the whole story is really, as it gets on in the book, is about Tony's career in as he's in his 20s and 30s and up until 40 years old, is with the guys he's around. You know, that network of folks that you're not supposed to talk about. You know, but the bottom line in the story, really the point was, Tony was trying to do everything he could to make his parents proud, and he lived his whole life thinking that's one day I'm going to make my parents proud. I'm going to do this. It's going to make them proud. But when it all came down to it, they weren't proud at a point.
Exactly
and you
right.
had to make some changes for that.
Exactly
But why don't you give a little background on the book and your life itself?
Just let you know, Tony, I was a disappointment to my family too. So. You're not alone, man.
I think my parents like me now.
Good.
I take care of them. They live with me, and I think we've come full circle where they took care of me when I was a child and gave me a lot of love, and I do it for them.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the book, actually I shouldn't say the beginning of the book. The beginning of your life, you had some medical conditions. Explain that to the folks and how you got through that.
Well, when I was born, the doctors told my father, after working on me for 36 hours, they called him in and said, "We're sorry, we can't do any more. He's going to die. Come back in the morning."
Right.
And sign the death papers, basically.
No kidding. How that was right after you were born?
That was at birth.
Wow.
and obviously I didn't die.
What did your
by the
parents
grace of
do?
God.
When they heard that, what did they do?
Well, my father went to the chapel and prayed all night. I know that. That's what I was told. And somehow I lived. And then at 6 years old, I was diagnosed with the Perthes disease in my left hip, where the bone in your left hip all the way down to your toe bones stops growing.
Wow.
So my left leg was as small and as thin as my left arm. And the doctors told my parents, your son
Is that like polio or something where your leg doesn't grow? Or
it's supposedly worse than polio, but they said that I would never be able to walk again without assistance, a brace, if I walked at all.
Bet you got a hell of a peg leg. You just stick somebody right in there.
But that's not the case though. You fought through it, and your
perfectly
parents.
normal.
Wow. Yeah. And how did that? I mean, how did you get from that point to?
Well, I had to be in traction for 2 years. I laid on a sofa as a 5 or 6 year old, and the funny thing was there's no pain involved with this disease.
Wow.
So it's very hard to explain to a 5-year-old that you're not allowed to walk anymore because of your leg, and he thinks his leg's fine.
Because he doesn't feel the pain.
Right, he doesn't feel any pain. So
Wow.
it made it very tough for them to keep me on the sofa because I was so active before the disease.
Any medication you had to take? Or
No, just lay in traction.
Just lay in the bed and rest.
In traction.
That's what he does every day right now. JD.
I try.
He must have that same thing you got. He lays around
I
all
don't
day long.
want to pull a muscle working out. I mean, God
Right.
forbid, you know, eating stuff enough, you know.
And then 2 years after being in traction, I went to a brace on my leg, and that's how I actually started school, was with a brace on my leg.
Okay.
And
how'd that go with all the kids? Were they supportive or not?
Well. Not very well.
Now kids are pretty mean, man.
Right,
Kids can
and
be mean.
there's an excerpt in the book about that. You know,
Yeah.
I had quite a few nicknames: brace leg, big shoe.
Right.
You know.
That's when bullying was really bullying.
Yeah.
Well, there definitely was some bullying going on, but you know, I'm betting that some of that bullying probably made you a little tougher, didn't it?
I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, you're not a huge guy, but I tell you what, man, you must really pack a punch.
That was one of my assets as a fighter.
Yeah.
What part of Philly are you from? South Philly?
No, northeast.
Northeast?
Yeah, right where Philly and Bucks County border. It's like Bensalem, Cape Coral. It's right on the, you know, you can take one step and you're in Philly. To take a backward step, you're in Bucks County.
Well, you know, as you got older, then you know, you went through some trials and tribulations. And how'd you get into boxing? You know, how'd that come about?
Everyone thought
Somebody
I was
punched him in the face, and he said, "That's it. It's on now. Guess I'm a boxer."
When I outgrew the disease, by the time I was 13, it was obvious I was going to beat this thing, and I realized at that point that my parents were such good parents, and
because they stuck with you.
Right. The
didn't give up.
The doctors told my parents, you got to put your son in the hospital because you're going to get a divorce. We've seen this before. You can't care for him at home, and they wouldn't have it. So
they stuck with it.
Oh yeah.
Through the tough times.
Yeah. They sold the house, moved in with my grandmother and grandfather, and there was a lot of help there.
That's good.
And I eventually beat the disease. By the time I was 13, it was obvious I was going to beat the disease, and I outgrew it. And by the time I got to high school, I was doing pretty well in baseball, and everyone thought I was going to go pro. And I went to college with a baseball scholarship, and it didn't work out. So
it doesn't work out for a lot of people.
Right.
Would you beat up everybody that hits you with a pitch or something?
No.
That's how you started your boxing
the
career?
fighting part didn't start till after I realized I was not going to be a professional baseball player, and then I decided to become a fighter.
So it took all that anger out on somebody, right? I got you.
So I decided to become a fighter without the knowledge of my father or mother.
How old were you when you decided to start training?
20.
20, okay.
Right. And
is that the same ring that Smoking Joe was training at down there?
Absolutely,
Philly?
Absolutely. Yeah,
it really was.
I trained with Joe for 6 weeks.
No kidding.
Great
That's
guy.
the main one in Philly.
He took me in like a relative. Treated me unbelievably well.
Yeah,
wow.
He was from like South Carolina, from a sharecropper, wasn't he?
Yes, very poor as he grew up. Had no money when he got here, and they formed a corporation for Joe, Cloverlay Incorporated, and sold stocks, and that's where he got his backing from.
Wow! But he helped train you in your early career.
He took me in and trained with me for 6 weeks. I had already been training before that, but he allowed me to come in and train specifically just with him.
I think he passed just this year, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Wow.
I knew his family fairly well too. Marvis was a nice kid.
How was your early boxing career? How'd you do?
I knocked out everyone I fought.
You did, didn't you? That was amazing. I read that, and I'm like, man. And what's even
well,
better?
I was not very skilled as a boxer. I was a
brawler.
Exactly.
Was it kind of like a Rocky Balboa?
Back in those days in Philadelphia, everyone wanted to fight like Joe Frazier.
Did you ever date a girl named Adrienne?
No. And I came home one day from one of my fights, which I won, but I sure didn't look like I won. And my mother saw me as I entered the kitchen and just passed out.
Literally passed out.
Literally passed out on the kitchen floor.
Did you look like Rocky all beat up after Mr.
Absolutely.
T took it to him?
Mr. Potato Head. But these were real injuries. They weren't makeup.
Wow.
And when she finally came around, it scared the crap out of me, and I promised her at that point I'd never fight again.
And you stopped right
then
and there.
So that career went down the drain.
And weren't you on track to become?
Oh yeah, they had a lot of hopes for me.
Yeah,
there were a lot of people trying to buy my contract, but
you didn't go to the Olympics or Golden Gloves or anything.
That's
like
probably a mistake I made. That I should have went into the Olympics.
Yes.
But I wanted to turn pro. I wanted to make money. I wanted to help my parents.
Sure.
We had no money, and
well, you end up using that boxing experience, that brawling experience later on.
It did carry on.
It's kind of the same motivation that helped Rocky Marciano. He was the same way. He was real poor and he wanted to make money.
Yeah, he wanted his father to quit working.
And
in the shoe factory.
he lost a lot of his amateur fights. Rocky did.
Yeah,
but
he only got into
pros.
boxing because he had a friend that was a fighter, and his friend took him to the gym. And that's how that all got started.
And a lot of people think that he was just great for I think it was 49 consecutive titles that he held or something like that. But he actually lost a lot of amateur fights, Rocky did. It was an interesting story.
Well, so after boxing now, then you move into another.
Well, I work in construction for a while.
Always in construction, yeah.
And
gotta love that.
Right. And then at some point, my wife tells me that we're going to a wedding. And we go, and I run into an old friend who knew I was a fighter and offers me a job. I don't want to give the whole book away.
Sure.
But he offers me a job as a bouncer, and I'm hesitant to take it. I'm trying to settle down, and I tell him that, and he kind of laughs in my face and says, "I know you." And I said, "No, I had a son, or I didn't have a son. It was Patty's son, actually Laura's in the book, and he did have cerebral palsy, and I kind of bonded immediately with him. And from that point on, I took the job reluctantly
as a bouncer
to make some extra money.
Sure.
And
but from there, I mean,
from that point on, some opportunities came up that I probably shouldn't have taken, but I thought they would impress my parents. I thought I would make enough money to get some things of my own and help them monetarily because they were hurting too.
Sure.
And I made some mistakes and I went down some wrong roads.
Well, the book is awesome. I mean, you gave me the book. It's called Sins of the Son. I actually read it when my wife was at the hospital. We were going to the hospital for her to have her baby, and we were stuck in there from Saturday through Monday, waiting for Monday so they could take the baby. And so I sat down on Saturday morning or whenever we got there, and I read the entire book from cover to cover. Couldn't put it down. I was just so enthralled with it because it's a true life story. And after meeting you in person and then reading this book. And I set the book down and I go, that was that guy? That was him? This is his story? I mean, to me, it was like a Bronx Tale, I mean, I've loved all of the, those type of movies, the wise guy movies and so forth. And, it was just really, really personal.
When did you finally get indoctrinated into the mob scene? I mean, when did that happen?
Well, it started
because that had to be a crossroads at that point.
Well, like I said, I started out as a bouncer, and the owner of that particular club took a liking to me. We hit it off pretty well. And he was not Italian, he was Irish. And he was with the Irish guys. And I became his driver, and then we actually bonded to the point where we were best of friends, and it was almost not a business relationship anymore. I was his bodyguard.
Like Bolger?
There's a funny story about Bolger. I'll tell you off the air. And I became his bodyguard, and
that was Joe in the book, right?
That was Joe, absolutely. That was Joe. And then a few things happened, and Joe would constantly do favors for me and took me under his wing, and treated
kind of grooming you.
Oh, he was grooming me, unbeknownst to me
Absolutely
at the time.
Was.
And I was being tested, and a lot of things I didn't know about were going on. I mean, later I found out there were listening devices in my car, and girls were being sent in to me
to test you,
test me, see if I would talk under certain circumstances, and luckily I passed them all.
Yeah, you passed them all. Now, speaking of Joe, I think when we met at that event, and you first gave me the book, was it and we were talking about the screenplay because you've got a screenplay play written for this book, and
Yes.
The goal is to have a movie made about your life.
Absolutely. We're searching for funds right now, and we're a little closer than we were 6 months ago.
Good. And who was it that you mentioned a particular star that you had in mind maybe for Joe, and I don't know how you met him.
That was William Forsythe.
William Forsythe.
Yes.
That's a powerful
I
figure.
spoke with him about it, and he just got a new deal with that Mob Doctor series that's coming on. I think it starts the 17th of September. I'm not
really?
sure on the date, but he
Okay.
got a role on that. And so his price, I'm sure, has gone up now.
Sure, but now was it? He was the one that was looking to play Joe. Was
I
was
met
Joe?
him in Philadelphia. He flew in, and we had a big party in South Philly, and I told him about the part, and he called me aside from the banquet facilities, and we spoke just one-on-one, and he
Sure.
he loved the part. He said, I want you to tell me things about Joe that only you and Joe know. So
Yeah, that's
I did.
awesome.
And
I could see him playing Joe after
Oh,
reading this
yeah.
book. He
He's
could nail it.
perfect. He's perfect
Now I
for
don't know
the
how
part.
he would do it as a young, because I don't know how old Joe was in real life at the time. But
Joe was in his 40s.
Does Joe have a last name?
At that time.
Joe Bananas or something?
No, that's a totally different character.
No, it's but now you collaborated with Cindy on this.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Cindy, I mean, how much input did you have in this book? Are you the writer, and it's Tony's story, you're the writer? Tell us the truth.
I'll tell you what happened.
See, here he goes.
Here's how we did this. I would write it. I would give it to Cindy.
She'd fix it.
She would fix it.
Right.
Put it in English.
Okay. You're chicken scratch, right?
Yes, and that's how we basically wrote the book.
So what are we going to come up against next? Now you're looking for funds for the movie for basically part one,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Okay, which takes us up to about when you're 40 years old.
Right.
In that time frame. But now you guys are getting together again for
Yes.
a part two.
We're starting the sequel. Yes.
The sequel.
Right.
And it's
That's
going
why
to go from
she's
that
here.
point forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm available if they need somebody to drive a cab. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about over here. You know what I'm saying?
You got it, Smith.
We're going to guys have a little talk. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I tell you what, we're really pleased that you guys were able to come in today. It's a kind of a short segment for you, but actually, you know what? I don't know.
Well,
Sick Rick, do we have any more time? A couple more minutes? Okay.
Who was the meanest SOB you knew up there in Philly? Who was the meanest guy? That you would say,
I would
yeah, I
say
don't
the
wanna cross
meanest
him.
guy was Scarfo, Nicky Scarfo.
Nicky Scarfo.
Tough guy, huh?
Well, he thought he was, and he would do almost anything.
Really?
And that's why he didn't make it.
He didn't make it. You
No.
mean he's dead?
Meaner than Sammy the Bull?
I never met Sammy the
How about
Bull.
Henry Hill?
Never met Henry Hill.
He got away with
But
a lot.
I did
didn't he?
meet Bolger.
Did meet Bolger,
Yeah.
huh?
He'll tell you off the air about
Bolger got away with a lot.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because he played both sides of the fence.
Exactly.
That's what he was. He was
Exactly.
smart. He would play this guy
That's
over
what
this
the
guy.
movie Departed was about.
Right.
What's the name of the sequel going to be on the book?
We're working on it right
No
now.
name
We
yet?
haven't
No name
decided yet.
Can do you guys have a website or anything that
Oh,
folks
yes.
can go to?
Cindy, you can take this one.
Yeah, it's www.sinsofthesun.com. And we're also going to have a Facebook page that you can like. We're getting that up as well. So
Well, if you
trying
need
to-
some help with that, I just hired a great new social media manager. She's actually right back there in the in the green room. She can take you from 0 to 5 million likes in like 3 days.
Awesome.
I'm
Great.
telling you.
Give her
That's
a name.
great.
I will. I got to get her permission first, so we'll talk to her off air. But is there anything else you guys want to add for the listeners in this area, and for people around the world that are listening live streaming about your life and how the parents doing? Are they still around?
Yes, they're still around. Like I said, they live with me now.
Sure.
I take care of them, and the main theme of the book was my relationship with my parents.
Absolutely.
And coming full circle to the point where I put my dad's shoes on for him now.
Yeah, I know, buddy. It's tough, man. I know. Well, I tell you what. Let's go to a break. When we get back, we'll have more with the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Don't go too far. I might have a little job for you to take care of for me.
277-9600, 775-9600. We'll be right back.
It's all new, and there's nothing else like it on the radio anywhere.
Nothing tops it. No, nothing in sports tops that.
It's the Nick and Artie Show with Nick DiPaolo and Artie Lang.
They're going to try to make pole dancing part of the Olympics. No. Yeah.
It's our hilarious late-night look at sports and other guy stuff.
You get one job as a father to keep your daughter off the pole. Keep your daughter off the pole.
Check out the Nick and Artie Show.
Weeknights from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. on 96 K-Rock.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small, secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2 000046.
Football season is finally here, and with it comes the Great American Tailgate at your South Florida Ford store. That means face paint. Check. Big cooler. Check. Meat for the grill. Check. Now, check this. Get up to $1,500 kickoff cash on top of current offers on select Ford vehicles. This season, make sure you've got the right equipment during the Great American Tailgate, like the Tailgating Champs F-150, Fusion, Edge, and Explorer. Find a participating South Florida Ford store near you and learn more about Ford's limited time offers. Visit southfloridaford.com. But hurry, the $1,500 kickoff cash ends September 10th.
Kickoff cash requires Ford credit financing. Not all buyers will qualify. Kickoff cash amounts vary by vehicle. Excludes Econoline, Transit Connect, Fiesta Sedan, Focus Sedan, Escape Hybrid, 2013 Escape, and Ranger. Residency restrictions apply. See dealer for qualifications and complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by 9/10/12.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer. Hurry in now for the lowest prices ever, just in time for Labor Day at Rock Solid Countertops and More. Salespeople have been given direct orders to sell. So come find huge granite savings on a huge selection of countertops, granite, marble, and quartz, plus flooring and cabinet fabrication. Complete granite kitchens from $9.99 installed. All Rock Solid products offer affordable quality for life. Rock Solid will not be undersold. Bring us your best offer and we will beat it. Come find incredible Labor Day savings. You deserve it because Rock Solid knows you work hard for the money. Off Airport Pulling on JNC Boulevard in Naples. When coming to see us, look for the Superman sign guy. Call 596-7676, 596-7676, or visit hugegranitesale.com. Rock Solid Countertops and More. It's really big.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
I love the weekends. You can't beat the beach. The sand, the hot sun.
Todd, when was the last time you were at the beach?
Jace, while you and I are at the Diamond District all weekend, there are some people who go to the beach. And I'm just saying how nice that must be.
And after the beach, if you're in the market for a diamond, you won't find a better value or diamond buying experience than the Diamond District.
In Estero at Coconut Point, with diamond prices at or below the internet.
At the Diamond District.
Make your home a connected home at CompUSA, powered by Tiger Direct. Find the biggest name brands at the best prices during the Home Theater Week sales event. Get the Logitech Review Media Player with Google TV and internet apps for only $89.99. Save $400 on a 55-inch LED HD TV right now, just $699.99. And grab a Samsung Blu-ray home theater system for $149.99. Don't miss these amazing deals during Home Theater Week at CompUSA, powered by Tiger Direct in Fort Myers at 13741 South Tamiami Trail.
Well, here we go.
Yeah, that's what my friends say too. Well, here we go.
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Welcome back, the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. The phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. If you'd like to advertise during the show for our new primetime slot every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, visit our website, contact us for details. Still need a title sponsor for the second hour. Great rates while they last. Our last guests, Tony Tancredi and Cindy O'Hara, they were talking about Tony's book, Sins of the Sun. Great book. I read it cover to cover. Couldn't put it down. You can find it on Amazon.com or Kindle. Please get it. I urge you to get it. It's a great book. If you like anything to do with wise guys, real life from Philly, it was a great book. Ladies, welcome back. We appreciate you coming back in with us. Are you alive now?
We're alive. We're doing it.
Amber, are you down there?
We're doing great. We had a great talk with Byron in the back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, talking education, and he's a great guy.
He's smart. He's very smart.
Did he talk Sarah into anything? Did he teach her anything?
It was a very civil conversation. We all had a great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
Bring that big microphone you got down over there, Amber. See your mic, little short girl over
Maybe
there.
we got the girls here. Talk about the first female to ever play football here in varsity football as a quarterback in Florida.
Yeah, that's
Erin
right.
D'Amiglio hit the field. She became the first quarterback in Florida football history.
Yeah, how about that? So you got a girl now. I think she was 5'6", 160 pounds, playing quarterback.
Yep.
For high school football.
That's awesome.
Varsity football.
She's on the varsity team.
Yeah, and it's South Plantation, Florida, is where she's from, and she did it. She went out there and took the field with the boys.
What do you girls think about that?
Hey, I think it's fine. If she wants to do that, she should do it.
How long do you think it'll last?
Well, football is a really, really hard sport. A lot of kids get concussions all the time. So,
how do you think a girl's gonna stand up to the hits?
Well, it sounds like you're being sexist now. So.
I like sex.
He's just being realist.
Yeah,
because let's face it, a girl's going to get hit by a guy who's 6'2", 240, and it's going to be game over for her.
Right.
Game over.
It's like those ideas that come out of your head that sound like they're really good at first,
like G.I. Jane.
and then all
really
of a sudden
you
get smashed. You go, not so good, man.
I think it's great that they're letting her play, but realistically, they need to have a separate team for women to kind of have, kind of like a powder puff kind of thing,
In lingerie powder puff.
Jello wrestling football is what you're saying.
I
already said I like sex.
Jello wrestling football.
There you go. At the end of the day, there needs to be one
field
for
of nothing
women.
but Jello.
That is awesome.
I'm kind of going for mud. How about kind of?
You could do mud.
I think mud's good.
You dirty girl.
I really actually we need to try to figure out how to do that. A whole field, like maybe a miniature field. Like a 30-yard field filled with Jello.
Whipped cream.
Just a
I'm kind of on the
green
whipped
Jello.
cream. There you go. Yeah.
Whipped cream be good.
Yeah. The strawberry bowl.
So anyway, so we don't. So what do you think, Amber? How long is this girl going to last this season if she's playing?
I don't know. They let her play the last 2 minutes, which is probably smart, considering that it would be only about 3 sacks.
Did she get tackled?
Yeah, she did.
She did.
So that's about what. You guys know football.
She probably got up and said, "Heck with this crap."
I was going to say, I'm done with this. Screw this.
Well, her linemen, they say, well, she's a girl. We're going to have some extra protection because they don't want her to get hurt. So they actually do step up and they actually protect her more than the male quarterback.
Well, some girls do need some extra protection, so.
I guess. Trojan man.
Lineman.
Stop it.
Double lineman.
Stop it.
Double rubber.
What show are we on here?
Man.
I don't know.
These girls are worse than us.
I've tried that.
Tried it. Yeah.
Hey,
What, you guys doing shooters in the back over there? What were you into, man?
Bunch of
Lay on the table. Strap it on. Put 2 helmets on that. Let's go.
Bunch of cackling women in here.
gosh.
Jeez. So.
How about that football?
How about it?
Anyway, back to real life. I can't even compete
That's
with
real
that.
life, though.
I can't even compete with that. Smitty, you need to calm these girls down.
Hey.
All right, I got some real news.
Give us some news.
All right, so Toyota's been killing Ford, GM.
I want Toyota.
I know. Toyota's been
now.
killing us. Ford is looking to beat Toyota for the best-selling car in 2012 with the new Focus. They're actually outselling Toyota for the first time.
Man, that's terrific.
Because you drive a Ford, Smitty.
Yes, I do. I would jam that Ford down every Chinese throat in America, man. Just keep jamming it. Just go.
You mean Japanese?
Yeah, them too.
Chinese, Japanese, dirty
Speaking of,
look at me.
I love the fact that the Ford is finally. We're going to be selling more cars in China probably this year than anybody, I think. So who knows?
Selling more cars in China?
Yeah, they're selling the markets in China.
Actually, that is what it says. Yeah, most of our sales are over there in their Rayong plant.
Is Toyota and Lexus
it's Thailand. It's Thailand.
Are they still together, Toyota and Lexus? Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be? It's the same car.
It's exactly.
Exact same car with a different emblem.
That's what I'm saying.
And more money.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you drive?
No, I have a really nice car, but not a Lexus Toyota.
What do you drive?
Jaguar.
Nice.
That's owned by Ford still, isn't it?
No.
Actually, India has that.
Yeah, somebody else bought
Somebody in India bought Jag?
Yeah.
For real?
It's not Ford anymore.
Did you hear that Steven Seagal's got a little bit of a tax problem?
I like Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I do too, but taking out a boat full of terrorists in movies doesn't mean you can skip paying your taxes. And the state of California has filed a giant lien against Mr. Seagal, and according to the documents filed with Los Angeles, Recorder Seagal owes a Golden State a whopping $335,600.
Are you sleeping over there? Are you talking into the microphone?
I'm sorry, I was reading.
It looks like you're about to sleep over there.
Lauren Hill just got busted for the same thing last week.
Who did?
Lauren Hill.
Which one's that?
She's the is it no yes. What's that stupid song?
Oh,
Lauryn Hill. Gosh, dog.
I don't know. She's a singer?
She's a singer. Yes.
Okay. I don't keep up with that stuff.
Sorry.
Is it country?
No. Oh God, you guys.
If she sang country, I would know.
No, I was gonna say she was busted last week.
Not to jump, but did you know that Paul Ryan's ex-girlfriend served prison time for wire fraud?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's on the news right now. They're talking about it right here.
What did you just? Yeah, but you just talked about Seagal now. But the tax thing didn't work out well for Wesley Snipes either.
We now know why Paul Ryan's ex-girlfriend was so
tight-lipped
yesterday when asked about the VP hopeful. Turns out she was indicted by the feds back in 1999 and spent months in prison for committing wire fraud.
So does that make him a bad guy that his girlfriend was stupid?
Poor judgment, I'd say.
Poor judgment?
Mm-hmm. Danita D. Pope, who made headlines recently as Ryan's African-American girlfriend in college, was indicted by grand jury in November 1990 for allegedly swindling.
You're racist now?
I'm reading it. I didn't say nothing about racist. Alleged swindling.
That's what all the libs say.
If anybody's racist, you are.
Oh, you mentioned a black girl. You got to be racist.
You're a good old boy from Florida now. Don't bring it up on him. All right? For allegedly swindling up on him. Okay? That she, I guess, milked Ernest & Young out of $77,000.
Was that a cow farm or what?
I don't know. She pleaded guilty, though. So,
That's a great story.
It is.
I really appreciate that.
It's very interesting.
I got something on gun control.
Let's bring it on. Bring it up on him.
But it's good. It's good news. It's good news. Remember last week we had the issue where the guy with a gun stopped the robber with a 3-foot saber sword?
Yes, I do.
That was awesome.
Now we've got another guy with a concealed handgun license stops a vicious stabbing outside of a Texas school.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it pays to have a gun in your possession. You can actually stop crime.
I'm just surprised it isn't someplace somewhere that in the United States that somebody didn't hose down a billion people again. Every week we turn on the news, and every week there's some nut out there just shooting people down. And I
wonder if that.
Are you against people carrying guns?
No.
Okay.
But I'm not against carrying guns. But I think that there has to be some kind of something has to tweak a little. I'm all for all guns, but like we talked about that, you need an AK-47 with
Absolutely.
100 million clips and
No.
and I mean,
I don't need a
a
100-round drum. I can reload quickly.
Well, that's what you're going to have to do apparently.
That's fine. I'll put them all over my body. It'll be like a Mexican gun belt.
There you go. Have like 3 or 4.
I like to see that visual. You want a Mexican gun belt and a hat.
Well, there's another situation. Had a gun store owner actually. Of course, he's got a gun, but two idiots were stupid enough to try to break into his store to steal his guns. So they rammed their van into the side of his building. I guess it was the weakest point in the building. Rammed the van in the side, jumped out.
Was it an American van?
I don't know. I would imagine it was. If it was a Toyota van, if it was a Toyota, it'd probably crush under the pressure. But and this is in North Augusta, South Carolina, right in a town real close to where I used to live. They drive into the store, jump out, 3 of them. They attempt to shoot this guy. He can hear them cock their guns. He unloads on them, kills one of them, shoots the other 2. Somehow or another, they actually escape with 50 guns, but they did recover. The cops recovered all the guns afterward. So another just stupid people in the news. Don't run your van into a gun store
not
not expect to get shot back at.
You use a tank.
Now that might have worked. Maybe hijack the LAPD.
Use a tank, man. If you're going to blow some wall down, don't go with a Toyota Prius or something.
277-9600, 775-9600. You can also check us out on the live stream, ledgeradioshow.com. Just we going through a couple little stupid news items of the day, and I think that's probably the dumbest one of the day, other than Smitty, and Sarah.
I like the guy who falls out of the ceiling because he's so drunk and he's breaking into the convenience store. He falls from the ceiling. He just falls there. He can't get back out because once you fall out of all the stuff from the ceiling, you can't go back up. So he just sits there and waits for the cops.
Why didn't he go open the front door?
He tried to. He banged it.
He was too drunk, I guess.
Hours.
Wow, that is pretty dumb. You definitely want to have what was his plan to get back out of the building?
He fell out of the roof.
Right.
And wanted to go back the same way he came in. But that
like
didn't
Santa
work
Claus,
out.
man.
Did he bring a rope to climb back up, or did he not think about phase 2 of this plan?
That's why he turned over a bucket and sat there.
Speaking of theft, millions of dollars of maple syrup was stolen. Talk about sticky finger thieves. They struck in Quebec, of all things, up to 10 million pounds of syrup.
What is it?
Syrup.
10 million pounds.
Syrup. How do you spell syrup?
Syrup.
Syrup. 10 million pounds of syrup in the warehouse, according to a statement of the Federation of the Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, which bills itself as the keeper of the global strategic maple syrup reserve. I didn't know there was a maple syrup reserve.
Maybe we can use that in lieu of the oil reserve.
So what are they going to do with that?
I don't know. 10 million pounds of syrup. That's a lot of syrup. Somebody's crying at
10 million pounds.
Yeah, somebody's crying down there at the Waffle House, man. The Waffle House. They got special going on syrup.
There's some very
who sat around?
waitresses.
Who sat around and said, I got a great idea. Let's back this truck up, pump these 10 billion pounds of syrup in, and we're get away.
Well, what do they think they were going to do with it?
Dumb and Dumber, man.
They might have. Maybe they shipped it overseas.
Someone's on a major sugar
It's as much
high
as
right now.
80% of the world's maple syrup comes from Quebec.
Wow.
So maybe they stole it, and now they're going to take stock out in syrup, and it's going to go through the roof, and they're going to make money. Craziness. Had to be some stoners in that somewhere.
Well, you know what they could have been. Maybe they did. Maybe they had their own deal with Waffle House, and they were going to just sell it on the on the black market to them. They got some cheap syrup out of the back of the truck. They got a little hose.
Yeah, on the side of the road, right? Little sign that says cheap syrup.
Okay.
Syrup.
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 Spell that, Smitty.
Syrup.
SEYRUP.
That's what I got to do with.
Work for me.
SYRUP. Jeez.
I had to use phonics.
That's just because my bike lane. I like my bike lane. You jumped on me last week about that. Oh, Lance Armstrong again stood up, and he said, "You know what? I still am the winner of 7 titles." And
but did you see his assistant came out against him now? His assistant for like 9 years said, "Yeah, he's dirty."
They're all jumping on the bandwagon. You know when you're down, somebody looks to jump on top of you and just go, I got to kick him while he's down. Kick him while he's down.
It's him and then like 3 of his riders that did what the Tour de France with him, right?
Yeah.
Came out against him.
But I think it was more than that. It was like his whole team.
Right.
And of course they're probably all the losers on the team, so they're all upset that he won, so they're going to throw him under the bus the most. But I don't know where it's going to go from now. But I guess he's got an uphill battle. He's dropped out of the whole, and we talked about it last week. He just said he's fed up with it. He's done fighting it. I mean, where does he go from here, Smitty?
I don't know. I just deny it and say, look, I stand on my record. 7 times I've won. I've been tested over 500 times. I don't know what you want from me. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Because it's all just hearsay, right?
Yeah.
Just people saying they saw it or they helped him.
I guess so. If they have any kind of medical proof or any type of scientific stuff that they can actually pull that and show, I think they would do that.
You would think so.
But I don't think anybody has anything.
Well, they talked about some kind of new testing procedures, but I don't know. That's just they're testing old blood or whatever. But let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll delve into something more interesting.
Absolutely.
Ledge Radio Show, JD and Smitty, 277-9600 or 775-9600. We'll be right back.
You never know what we're going to say or do. Take 96K Rock wherever you go with the iRadio Now app.
iRadio Now.
Available for free on all smartphones, including Android. The biggest personalities in radio entertainment. Available on one app.
iRadio Now.
The iRadio Now app for all smartphones.
Just go to the App Store and search iRadio Now and download it for free.
Brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, Coconut Point.
Visit 96krock.com for more information.
iRadio Now.
96K Rock.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small, secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
Southwest Florida knows that Duncan's Diamonds has the best prices, but it's their quality, selection, and excellent customer service that keeps customers coming back year after year. And Duncan's Diamonds customers have great things to say.
Their sales team is extremely helpful and knowledgeable.
I shopped at other jewelry stores. There's no place like Duncan's Diamonds. And I tell all my friends to come here every chance I get.
At Duncan's Diamonds, I found everything I was looking for. Great designers. I was awfully impressed with their Hearts on Fire diamonds and jewelry. They're really amazing.
The customer service is excellent. You're free to take your time and browse without being hassled, and all your questions are answered.
I've been to every chain jewelry store, department store, and independently owned stores. None of them beat Duncan's Diamonds prices. They are the best. I had some jewelry to sell, and by far, Duncan's Diamonds paid me the most cash and paid on the spot.
Duncan's Diamonds puts your mind at ease. Best quality at the best price.
Discover Duncan's Diamonds, Fort Myers on US 41, and in the Gulf Coast Town Center, where you'll find the largest selection at the best prices in Southwest Florida.
My dad gave me his smile.
My mom taught me to never let the American flag touch the ground.
How to make a bed with hospital corners.
That duty is doing what's right, even when nobody's watching.
Kids get a lot of things from their parents. And if their parents served in the military, there's one other thing they'll get: access to USAA auto insurance. Our commitment to serve military members, veterans who have honorably served, and their families is without equal. It's why families who have earned USAA auto insurance regard it so highly, they pass it down from generation to generation. In fact, 95% of members with USAA auto insurance plan to stay with USAA for life. Begin your legacy. Get a quote. Visit USAA.com or call 800-531-USAA. We know what it means to serve. Let us serve you.
95% comes from the 2010 Member Communications Trends Survey. Insurance provided by United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas. Membership eligibility restrictions apply.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Look at that beautiful lake and those graceful swans. So romantic.
Todd, what's gotten into you? I'm just going to tell them about our 6,000 square foot superstore filled with diamonds. And the Diamond District's diamond prices are at or below the internet.
Where else, other than the Diamond District, can you get this view while shopping for diamonds? No mall food court smells, no confusing websites, just the lake and the swans.
At the Diamond District.
Be here September 16th when the Dolphins play the Raiders and get a free limited edition 1972 Perfect Season Throwback hat. So get your tickets to the opener, throw on your free hat, and show the Raiders what home field advantage in Miami looks like. For a free hat, get tickets to the opener at Dolphins.com or call 1-888-FINS-TIX.
Now back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
Welcome back to the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. The phone numbers are 239-277-9600 or 775-9600. You can check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. And, earlier in the program, before we had Tony and Cindy on, we were talking about the RNC because that was the big news of the week. And I wanted to get to this this cut from Rubio. Marco Rubio, I thought, had a really good speech for any of the conservatives out there listening. I think you would agree that he did a really nice job. He's eloquent too, even though they're all talking on teleprompters, I'm sure. But he had some really good comments, and he was addressing the Republican National Convention on its final night, just before Mitt Romney accepted the party's nomination. Rubio said the past few years under Obama have driven America backward, not forward, that hope and change have become divide and conquer. Some of his other little quotes, our problem is not that he's a bad person. Our problem is he's a bad president. Rick, do you have that audio queued up? Let's go with cut 2, please.
Mitt Romney knows America's prosperity didn't happen because our government simply spent more money. It happened because our people use their own money to open a business. And when they succeed, they hire more people who invest or spend their money in the economy, helping others start a business or create jobs. Now, tonight, we've heard for a long time now about Mitt Romney's success in business. It's well known, but we've also learned that he's so much more than that. Mitt Romney's a devoted husband, a father, a grandfather, a generous member of his community and church, a role model for younger Americans like myself. Everywhere he's been, he's volunteered his time and talent to make things better for those around him. And we are blessed that a man like this will soon be the president of these United States. Now, let me be clear so no one misunderstands. Our problem with President Obama isn't that he's a bad person. Okay? By all accounts, he too is a good husband and a good father, and thanks to lots of practice, a good golfer. Our problem is not that he's a bad person. Our problem is that he's a bad president. You think he's watching tonight? Because his new slogan for his campaign is the word forward. Forward. A government that spends $1 trillion more than it takes in? An $800 billion stimulus that created more debt than jobs? A government intervention into health care paid for with higher taxes and cuts to Medicare, scores of new rules and regulations. These ideas don't move us forward. These ideas move us backwards.
There you have it. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, I think he had a really good speech. He said a lot there. You know, those were just some of the highlights of his speech.
Do you know what else he said?
I do. I listened to the whole speech.
It says, toward the end of the speech, Rubio was setting up the choices in his election. He said the race would determine whether America made the right decisions. Among them was that, in his words, we choose more government instead of more freedom.
Gaffe. I've got the whole written speech. He accidentally said it backwards.
I agree, but
that's what Obama would say: more government instead of freedom.
Every time Obama has a little gaffe, you guys exploit it and make it as if he really meant that. So I could do the same thing, but I'll show some restraint.
Okay, and I appreciate that. No, actually, I caught it during the speech, and as soon as he did it, I cringed.
It was a flop.
I cringed. I was like, "Oh man, that sounded really bad." I looked at my wife. I'm like, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah.
She's like, she's waking up.
So they all misspeak.
Maybe
they all misspeak.
They do. They do. Well, let's take a call. We got a guy on the line right now. It's Mike. It says NFL Mike. I'm not sure. He said he knows us.
NFL Mike.
Let's go. Mike, you're on the Ledge Radio Show. What you got, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Very good.
Man. Great show. Hi, Smitty.
What's up, my friend?
Great show.
Thanks, buddy.
Full hour of football starts tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for anybody that's awake.
I'm with you, bro. I love football. I love NFL.
Hey, Sunday football.
Who's your team, Mike?
Wanted to say hi and let you know there'll be something on tomorrow on Sundays.
All right, very good.
Who's your team, Mike?
Great show. I'm sorry?
Who's your team?
San Francisco.
Oh, the 49ers got you, bro.
West Coast guy.
They did good last week. Last year they did really good. They almost made it.
Green Bay, New England on the if you're going to take favorites for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Dark horse will be Houston, San Francisco.
Out of the three teams in Florida, Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami, who do you think is going to do better?
They all suck.
Nothing going on.
Huh?
There's nothing going on in Florida this season. I've got to be brutally honest.
If you have to put your money on one team to think they're going to do best, who do you think it would be?
It'd probably be the Bucs.
The Bucs?
Out of the three. What do you think over Baltimore and the Steelers?
Baltimore still going to beat them for the division. Steelers might get a wild card.
The Steelers got a lot of injuries. They just had another guy went down last week, and
Steelers have a lot of line issues.
Go
Steelers! They're aging.
Yeah, they're getting aging, but they got a lot of good draft picks. They're looking good.
They just picked up. Was it Rainey they got?
Yeah, Wednesday night is going to be the opener between it's Giants and Cowboys.
Giants and Cowboys.
Yeah.
I was torn, but I got to go with Giants. I'll give you two key reasons. Last 4 games against the line, Giants 3-1. Giants opening night 8-0.
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Can't beat the statistics. I'd like to take Dallas in the 4 points, but everybody talked me out of it.
Well,
I got to agree.
I know you're a 49ers fan. You know T.O.'s available.
Yeah.
I was surprised they dropped him. I was surprised he got dropped, man.
T.O.'s a fantastic football player. He's just got an attitude thing, and what can you do? He's grown up, but it's too late.
It's father time will get you every time.
That's right.
He's grown up, but it's too late.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for listening, man.
Have a great day.
All right, take care,
my
buddy.
friend.
Now, that was nice of Mike to come on and promote his show. Yeah. That's right. I like the NFL.
I love the NFL.
Now, I'm a college guy, though.
I know you're all about
I got the Gators playing today about 3 o'clock.
I told you, we were talking about Penn State, and we were talking about how they're going to respond. And some of the players said, man, they can't wait to unleash their fever on some team this year.
You girls watch any football? Anybody?
My son's in Pee Wee football.
Oh, that's sweet. See,
that's as much as I want to watch.
How old is he?
He's an 8. He's 8.
8 years old and playing actual tackle football.
Oh my God, he's a running back.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you play any sports yourself?
I did karate.
Karate.
Yeah, karate.
Karate. Don't even do your Asian voice.
No, you have the karate man here.
My husband is Vietnamese. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
Trust me, it's not what they say.
Sure. See,
no.
all say that, don't they?
No, not at all.
Oh, we know the truth. You cannot tell us a lie.
Happy
You cannot tell us a lie.
Yes.
$5. I love you long time.
He does love me long time. He do.
Yeah. What's that? 30 seconds? That's like him.
I'm in it to win it, man. 30 seconds of fury. I'm ready to go to sleep.
That's what you're saying in break.
Nothing wrong with that. You guys are over here talking about double wrapping it and all that.
I don't know,
what
man.
you're talking about.
Double helmets or something like that.
Double helmets, you guys said.
I thought you were talking about double bag over some girl's head.
Hey,
That's what I thought.
have there been any massage parlors busted lately?
Not lately. I think they're staying undercover, man.
All done.
Yeah, they're undercover. Gotta ask your husband.
Ooh, Suki down.
Suki.
I come over there right
So
now.
you guys get me
My
all off
shoe.
topic, man. Here I'm on politics, and we go to sports. Now,
Hey, this is funny Asian massages.
See what it's like having these girls here. They're out of control, man. They're worse than we are.
Hey, double helmet it, man.
Any message you'd like to tell your GOP over there that you have a couple minutes left here on the show?
I thought we had a great convention this weekend. I didn't think Ann Romney lived up to the hype. I'm
You didn't think
sorry.
so?
I know we talked about this, over a couple days ago.
You didn't like the ironing board? Come on, man.
Let me say this. I think she did a good job.
She did
a good job for the middle class. I don't think it was as intellectually.
Well, because you're right. The GOP in the past has bashed the women and the women's rights and everything. She's trying to draw them back. She's trying to
They
draw
don't
them back.
bash the women.
Oh, come on.
They don't bash.
Reverse Roe versus Wade. All that.
That doesn't bash women.
That's
That's for children.
Yeah, that's to
for
help 'em.
babies.
Sure, that's to help them.
Okay, Smith. Okay, no. Look. Can I talk? You asked me to talk, and I'm talking.
Okay.
You're bashing me.
Well,
as
I'm
the
not
one,
asking.
so
I'm talking about the
shut up.
GOP.
Let me speak.
Come on.
Okay.
Say something worthwhile listening to. I'll listen.
I will.
You got
if
gibberish
did.
coming out.
Hey, be quiet.
Okay, like I said, she did a good job. She spoke to the middle class. I don't think it was intellectual enough. I don't think she gave enough personal stories as she should have. I thought Arthur Davis did a great job. I thought Mia Love did a great job.
I didn't hear her speech, but I heard it was good. Mia
Love, she did a great job.
Yeah.
She was really wonderful.
She's a new up and coming, right?
She is. And then Nikki Haley did a really good job. She
You know what I noticed about Nikki Haley? She's got some huge teeth.
she does.
I mean, she's got a really big smile.
She's a pretty girl.
Maybe she's an alien.
At least her teeth were nice and bright and white, though. I mean, for big teeth, they were white.
Maybe she get a Crest commercial. I don't know.
No one says that about Obama, Mrs. Obama, and she has the same damn mouth.
Does she?
Yeah, look at her. She does.
I don't pick on Obama. The only thing you pick on Obama is his ears. He's got some serious ears.
Mrs. Obama.
Oh, I'm talking about him. He's got some ears now.
He does.
You know what's funny about that? Most women have big ears, but you can't tell because their hair covers it. Look, you're all embarrassed.
That's why we grow our hair out.
I know.
Yeah.
I can hear you better.
But no, it was a great job. The only criticism I have is on MSNBC. Tom Brokaw said, and it was really insulting. We were talking about Neil Armstrong when he passed away.
Absolutely, he was my hero. I had a picture of him on the wall as a kid.
Well, you'll love this.
Loved him.
He said that that the NASA program was a government sector program, and that we really should thank the government for that job, for this program, and because it started a lot of private sector jobs. So we really don't need to thank Neil Armstrong for this. We needed to really thank the government for this because it funneled a lot of private sector jobs. And I thought that was really insulting to a lot of the baby boomer generation, and
and a lot of the Neil Armstrong supporters.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying.
I love Neil Armstrong,
exactly,
man.
and so do I. And I thought,
But I think what it does, it takes away from his credentials.
Exactly.
Well, not in my eyes, because when you hear the guy talk, they talked about when he landed that on the moon. He literally had 15 seconds of fuel left before they were going to crash, and that was a gutsy call.
What were you telling me about that? That he didn't want to tell the rest of the crew or something?
Yeah, the guy was with him,
Buzz or one of
Buzz
those
Aldrin, right? And Buzz Aldrin said basically when they asked him, "What did you tell him? What did you tell him?" He says, "I wasn't going to talk to him. I was nervous." He goes, "I didn't want to break his concentration. I was going to let him make the call," and he made the call. It was a tough call. 15 seconds left in fuel. We landed it, and we made history.
Wow!
So it's a good thing. And real quick, if you haven't seen Chris Matthews go after Reese Previs on Morning Joe,
Previs?
Yeah, they had a confrontation over there. It's worth going to YouTube and checking it out. Chris Matthews ripped him, and it's very confrontational.
Chris Matthews has got to be one of the most racist, liberal, dumbest people I've ever seen on TV ever.
He's an educated guy, and I like him a lot.
Clearly educated.
I like him a lot. Just because you don't agree with you call him every name in the book.
No, clearly. All he ever
you got no respect
through this
for
whole
anybody.
week of convention, all he's talking about was racism.
You got no
He's the only one bringing it up.
You're bringing it up right now. You called me racist earlier for reading something off the news.
Hey, I can't help it.
That's because you're a good old boy. That's right.
You are what you are, man.
I'm a good old boy. Yeah, bring up on here. Bring up on here.
What else do you want to direct people to? Anything else?
No, that's it. Just Neil Armstrong was a great guy, and he's an American hero. And,
all right, so next week we got the DNC, right?
Yeah.
All right, we got about 30 seconds. So the DNC starts next week.
So tune in to hear the real truth.
Oh, my God. You're going to tune in to hear the biggest bag of lies
Come and hear
you've
the
ever
biggest
seen.
truth by a Harvard graduate, Barack Obama, your president. We'll set the story straight because he's like Byron said, he's great at it. He's great.
He is.
Even Byron Donaldson said
he's the greatest liar we've ever had.
I like that, Donaldson.
He's the liar in chief. It'll be great.
That's
All
right.
right, 10 seconds, guys. So listen,
tune in next week.
Next week, same time, 10 a.m. till noon. The Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.